He has to do a great job.
Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Sunday, January 5th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $, ORIONNWSF, or the YouTube super chat right here. We got Sunday Night Football, the last regular season game in the 2024 regular season. 14-2 Minnesota Vikings, 14-2 Detroit Lions, the most highly anticipated season finale in NFL history. Whoever wins gets a first round bye. Whoever loses drops down to the 5 seed. Can't wait to be able to see what we get here tonight. And again, let's get locked and loaded. Let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's go over some of the games that happened this weekend. Let's get it, baby. And on the thumb, on the left, one of my favorite wide receivers in the game, Jay Jetta, Jets, Justin Jefferson. And on the right, another one of my favorite wide receivers in the game, the sun god, Amon-Ra St. Brown. This one is going to live up to the billing. Week 7, the Lions won on the road 31-29. So Minnesota is going to be looking for some payback. And again, you're going to want to end up, having the first round bye rather than being a 5 seed, because the way the playoffs line up right now, whoever loses is going to have to be on the road versus the Rams. The winner will end up having the bye like Kansas City. Washington as the 6 seed is going to play Tampa, the 3 seed. Thank you, Seattle, for beating the Rams, for helping me not have to match up against Minnesota or Detroit in the first round. And then you got the 7 seed, the Green Bay Packers, after they lost to the Bears, are going to be matching up against the Philadelphia Eagles, and they will be on the road. Kansas City gets the bye. You're going to have the Chargers on the road to play the Texans. Steelers on the road playing Baltimore, and we already saw what happened yesterday when Pittsburgh plays Baltimore. And then the Denver Broncos get that last spot. Obviously, Kansas City didn't play any of their starters, but still, you got to give them credit. Get off the schneid of the playoff drought, and Bo Nix gets to go into the playoffs. Nice to see 2 Oregon Duck quarterbacks there in the AFC making the playoffs, with the Chargers with the 5 seed, Denver at the 7 seed, and then Denver is going to be on the road to Buffalo. So it may not be a long celebration for the Denver Broncos, but for their fan base, I know they're very, very happy to be in. Let's go, baby. What a wild Sunday of games. Daniel in the building. What's good? Captain in the building. What's good? Sarah in the building. What's good? Cole in the building. What's good? And yeah, man, pretty crazy the way that everything is lining up in the playoffs. And then I also have been doing my research and reading as well, and going through different scenarios through the draft order. Megan with a 10er, appreciate you. So the new updated draft order for at least the first 18 picks: Seahawks at 18, Bengals at 17, Cardinals at 16, Falcons at 15, Colts at 14, Dolphins at 13, Cowboys at 12, Niners at 11, and then this is the top 10 picks now based off the wins and losses. So you got the Bears at 10, the Saints at 9, the Panthers at 8, the Jets at 7, the Raiders at 6, the Jaguars at 5, the Patriots at 4, the Giants at 3, the Browns at 2, and then the Tennessee Titans are going to get the first pick in the draft. If they were smart, they wouldn't pick, Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. Whether Quinn Ewers is available or if he goes back to college. I assume he'll probably play in college next year. So if you're the Titans, you're probably, best bet is to go for a guy like a Travis Hunter, someone that that is going to be able to produce. But again, they are going to need a quarterback at some point. And it is kind of one of those things where typically when a team needs a quarterback and they have the first pick in the draft, they may be leaning towards that. But I'll tell you what, if the Titans end up drafting Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders and they pass on Travis Hunter and then he ends up on the Browns or the Giants or the Patriots, they're going to regret it. But again, we'll have to wait to see how everything plays out. Agent in the building, what's good? Megan with a 10er. Hey, even though the Rams didn't play a lot of their starters, to finish the season strong, I saw Geno ended up getting some extra incentives based off his stat line. And I really thank you, because if the Seahawks didn't win that game, I was going to have to match up against the loser of this game, Detroit or Minnesota. So whoever that is, you don't want to play them, either one, right? Both teams are 14-2. Nobody wants to play the Lions or the Vikings in the first round. If you get further along and you have to play them in like the NFC Championship game, fine. But I like the fact that the Hawks came up big for me to have me move up to the 3 seed and to punish the Rams and have them go down, I believe, to the 4 seed. And they're going to have to play the loser of this particular matchup. Will that be Minnesota? Will that be Detroit? I don't know. But thank you to Reflect and Megan and Captain and all the Hawk fans, as well as Geno and company, for getting that dub, because definitely it's going to make it a little bit easier of a path for me. Now, I don't have a defense. I don't expect to go very far in the playoffs, but as far as going against the Commanders, at home, we're going to have a chance. Jaden Daniels is phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. We could get blown out in that game, but I like the matchup. It's pretty even. So whether we lose or we get blown out or we end up getting a big win at home with Baker, he has proven that he is a top 5 quarterback in the league. And thank you, Hawk fans, for willing your team to a victory to help me out. Appreciate that. $10 holla, stacks on stacks, racks on racks, a little Cactus Jack bang bang. Let me know what Hawk players or what photos that you want. I got you, and I appreciate you. We're at 10:90 to go. Let's go, baby. This is going to be a good one here tonight. And we've never had 2 teams at 14-2 ever at the last game of the regular season. This is the very first time that a team with 14 wins may not win the division. Pretty crazy. Kevin O'Connell, I see you. Hi. Dan Campbell, I see you. And these are 2 of the top 3 teams, including the Philadelphia Eagles, that we believe that can make the Super Bowl for the NFC. And then you got the Chiefs and the Bills and the Ravens on the other side. I believe those are the 6 teams that legit have a shot. Everyone else, it would take a miracle. Something crazy would have, to ultimately happen, for any of those other teams to be able to go further than winning possibly a game or 2. But again, that's why it's the NFL. We really love it, because you never know what you're going to get unless we end up watching these games. Let's go, baby. All right, no problem. Let me know when you're ready, and I got you. I mean, since the quarterback class isn't very good, picking a quarterback with the first pick would be really dumb. And you got to think, they don't really have good coaches. They don't have a good line. They don't have skill position players. They don't have running backs. They don't have wide receivers. They don't have tight ends. They don't have defense. So if you're going to go like Shedeur Sanders with a number 1 pick, I would assume that Dion would bitch and moan, and they would strike and, threaten, to not playing or whatever. But I know if I was projected at the top of the board, I sure as hell wouldn't want to be on Tennessee. But if you look at the rest of the teams at the top, it doesn't get really that much better. Titans, garbage. Browns, garbage. Giants, garbage. Pats, garbage. Jags, garbage. Raiders, garbage. Jets, garbage. And then you got the Panthers and Saints that, are going to go up and down, throughout the season. And again, they're not very good either. But I mean, if you're really looking at the first top 10 picks, any of those situations really look that great? Not really. Again, it's going to take a lot, and especially for those teams at the top: Titans, Browns, Giants, Patriots, Jags, Raiders, Jets, Panthers, Saints, Bears. Like, I don't see any of those teams really getting, that much better, in a short period of time. It's going to be a long period of time for those teams to get good. So you have to make sure you hit on your draft picks. And if they were smart, they would go for like a Travis Hunter for the first pick of the draft, something like that, or a top tier defensive player, but you definitely wouldn't want to go quarterback. But again, we've seen the Titans go for quarterback, and many of them, Levis, Malik Willis. So obviously they don't know how to evaluate quarterbacks. And the best one they had in recent memory was Ryan Tannehill, right? Obviously, if you go back a little bit further, they've had a few others, that have been notable names. You had like a Vince Young, you had a Steve McNair. You want to go way, way back, Warren Moon. But the Titans don't really know how to evaluate talent. So I'm very concerned to see how that will pan out. And, maybe we get Cam Ward, maybe we get Shedeur Sanders, maybe it's a quarterback. But if I'm Tennessee, I don't take a quarterback. I end up building the roster and then maybe trying to get a quarterback next year. Obviously when the draft class will be better, because if you go this year and then that person ends up being just like a Levis or just like a Willis, they're not going to be on the team in a couple years. They might end up playing out their rookie deal and then goodbye. Then you're going to have to find another one. So we'll see how it all pans out, but that is the new updated draft class 1 through, I believe I did 16. And then obviously the new playoff bracket as we go into today. The only spot that we have left is the loser plays the Rams, the winner gets the bye, and we are ready to go. Let's get it, baby. Hey, and congratulations to my Tampa Bay Bucks, baby. It went double E in the building. What's good? But it went Panthers twice, Falcons once, Saints 4 years in a row, and now the Bucks back to back to back to back. And it feels good. I know our defense isn't very good. I don't even know if we can beat the Commanders, but anytime you have a chance to make the playoffs rather than not make it, you're excited. But the thing that I was the most excited about, and I know you all were probably watching as fans as well, is when Mike Evans ended up getting his 1,000 yards, 11 straight seasons from the very beginning of his career with bad quarterbacks to good quarterbacks at the end of his career. The only wide receiver in NFL history to do that, Jerry Rice. And so if you saw the emotion where, we had the game won, we could have, put the kneel down, but not only did Mike Evans get, a couple $1 million in incentives, but that history of being able to get 1,000 yards 11 years in a row every single year that you played in the professional National Football League. That's a big fucking deal. That's another reason why Mike Evans will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And if he's not, that's a damn shame, based on the voters. But he's definitely shown that he is the best wide receiver in the game that doesn't get the love, that doesn't get the pub. He only started getting pub recently when we won the Super Bowl. But prior to that, he was the most overlooked superstar, in, I don't want to say NFL history, but in this last, 20, 25 years, I don't think there's a receiver that has been able to get enough credit, to his name. But I'm really happy, that he ended up catching that ball. And if you saw the celebratory spike and all the teammates jumping up and down, it's a big deal, when you can have records like that being broken. And shout out to my boy, Mike Evans. That is the real deal, Holyfield. Let's go, baby. Let's get it. No guarantees that we can win a playoff game, but glad for you to be able to break history. And this is the best wide receiver in Tampa Bay history. And we probably will never have a receiver as good as this ever again. Nice job. I see you, Mike. Captain with a $5. I appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. We're at 15, 85 to go. Let's keep track of the likes as well as the donos in the stream. Double E in the building, what's good? Renee in the building, what's good? That's wild. Titans, Browns, Giants, Pats, Jags, Raiders, Jets, Panthers, Saints, Bears, top 10. And then Niners, Cowboys, Dolphins, Colts, Falcons, Cardinals, Bengals, Seahawks. And that'll be 11 through 18. Yeah, you did. I saw you out there with the doggos. I was a little bit jealous, man. Stay safe out there and have fun with the pups. Let's go, baby. The most highly anticipated season finale in NFL history. We've never had a 14-win versus a 14 win, at this point of the season, 14-2 and 14-2. And it's wild to think that you could go 14-3 and you go from having a first round bye to being a 5 seed, but that's the reality. We normally don't see teams this good, in the division, this close neck and neck. Like for the Lions, we're not surprised they're 14-2, but I think a lot of us are a little surprised that the Vikings are 14-2, but the number one reason they are defense. All right, here we go, baby. Number one scoring offense in the league, but you got one of the best defenses in the league as well. Goff, hands off. Jahmyr Gibbs, short game. And I've been really impressed with Kevin O'Connell. If he ends up getting the coach of the year, just based on this record and, with the Lions and what they were able to do last year, it's not like we don't think Dan Campbell's a great coach, but I think that the Kevin O'Connell kind of came out of nowhere a couple of years ago. He had a good season last year, not so much, and then was able to bounce back and have this monster year. And remember, in the first matchup that they played, the Lions won 31-29, week 7 on the road. Minnesota is going to try to get some payback and some revenge. And remember, the loser plays the Rams. The winner has a first-round bye. So, again, each team is desperately wanting that first-round bye so that they don't have to, have an early upset possibly to the Rams, as well as getting their bodies healthy, for the next round. Really fun teams to watch. Goff passed the short middle to Gibbs for 6 yards. First down, Lions. But both of these teams are super fun to watch. I don't know if either of these teams could beat Philadelphia if they were healthy. Philadelphia looks like the most well-rounded team. Same thing with Kansas City. But again, you got a lot of teams that have like a really good, offense, but not that much of a defense. There's a lot of teams like that have to outscore their opponents. And that might be all fine and dandy during the regular season. But as we know, when the playoffs come around, things get magnified, things get tightened up, and there's definitely a lot more pressure, to be able to get those big points, especially if you don't have a defense to fall back on. Goff under center. First down and 10. Hands off. Jahmyr Gibbs. And again, if the Lions don't win, this particular matchup, or if they don't end up, making it to the Super Bowl, not having David Montgomery is going to be one of the big factors, as well as all of those injuries that they had on that defensive side of the ball. One notable name to keep an eye on, Andrew Van Ginkel. Watch him on the Viking defense. He's been one of those notable names that you never know what he might end up doing. He can end up tipping a pass to himself and running it in for a score. He can get you sack lunches. Very, very good, underrated player. Second down and long, handoff up the middle, trying to keep that patience and balance in the offense with Gibbs. Short game. Third down and 6 at the Detroit 43. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. And help us get to 100 in donos. We're at 15, 85 to go. And then tomorrow, we got the debut on Netflix, WWE Monday Night Raw. Can't fucking wait. Let's go. Third down and long. Jahmyr Gibbs getting chased down. Grenard. Ooh. Loss of 7. Ooh. Fourth down and 15. And again, Minnesota is the more well-balanced team. Detroit might be more likable, but again, they don't really have a defense. They have some guys. Kirby Joseph is a stud. Brian Branch is a stud. But as far as the guys in the front 7, they don't really have the same type of, energy, swagger, intimidation as they do in the secondary. The secondary for them is pretty good. Still at this point, even with those injuries, really the key is going to be those guys in the front 7. The defensive line and the linebacking core are a little weak for Detroit. And Minnesota has no weaknesses on the line, the linebackers, or the secondary. So we'll see how it all plays out here. Detroit with a punt. And for the number one scoring offense to punt, that is rare at home. But it shows you Minnesota is the real deal. Trips over himself there, short gain. Let's see what Minnesota has dialed in. Chief in the building. What's good? Let's go, baby. So, again, we'll go over the draft order and the playoff scenario. 2025 NFL draft over in 1, Titans, 2, Browns, 3, Giants, 4, Patriots. Patriots could have had the first pick if they didn't fuck up here at the end by trying to win games. 5, Jags, 6, Raiders, 7, Jets, 8, Panthers, 9, Saints, 10, Bears, and then 11 through 18 is going to be Niners at 11, Cowboys at 12, Dolphins at 13, Colts at 14, Falcons 15, Cardinals 16, Bengals 17, and then the Hawks at 18. And then as far as the playoff scenario goes, with everything updated, the winner in the NFC gets the number 1 seed like Kansas City, and then they have a bye. And so hypothetically, let's say that ends up being Detroit. So then that would mean the loser would end up being the 5 seed, and they would have to go on the road to the Rams. So it's either going to be Minnesota Vikings on the road playing the Rams, or the Lions on the road playing the Rams. Then you got the Commandos in the 6 seed having to travel to Tampa as a 3 seed. Thank you, Seattle, for beating the Rams. I appreciate that. And then you got Green Bay getting in as a 7 seed, even though they lost to the Bears. And Caleb Williams, they're going to have to travel to Philadelphia. And if you remember, when they played in Brazil, it was a pretty good game early in the season. But this part of the season, it's a different story. Then on the AFC side, you got Justin Herbert and the Chargers visiting the Houston Texans and CJ Stroud. Chiefs with the number 1 seed in the bye. Pittsburgh as a 6 seed. They started off very strong, finished December and early part of January 0-4. So I would assume Baltimore will beat the brakes off of Pittsburgh. They're not going to be able to do anything. And then you got the Denver Broncos coming in, obviously with Chiefs not playing their starters, but they got in. They got off the playoff schneid. The Broncos are in with Bo Nix as a rookie. Pretty cool. They're a 7 seed. The only shitty thing is, if you're a Bronco fan, you got to play the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs, and you already know you're going to lose that. So, we know Buffalo will, they're going to impose their will. The Broncos will probably try to keep it close to a certain degree, but if you're looking at, the actual matchups, the only one that we have a question on is going to be the Chargers and the Texans. Now, if the Texans show up at home, they could win, but the Chargers are playing better ball, right? The Ravens are playing better ball than Pittsburgh. Buffalo's playing better ball than Denver, even though Denver won today with the backups. All right, Philly and Green Bay, Tampa and the Commandos, 50-50. And then you would assume whoever wins between Minnesota and Detroit, obviously gets the 1, but the loser should be able to beat the Rams at home, you would think, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, here we go. First down and 10. That was a mouthful. Sam Darnold under center. Handoff. There we go. Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones. Darnold, pump fake, little check down. TJ Hawkinson there for 8 yards. Kirby Joseph with the tackle. First down and 10 at the Minnesota 30. You know damn well that it's not going to be interesting. They're on the road. They're going to be in Buffalo. People are going to be drunk, jumping on fucking tables. They're going to have 0% chance. Come on, bro. You know that. There is 0. Broncos defense is good, but the game isn't played in Denver. It's going to be played in Buffalo. There's 0% chance that they win that game. 0. You know it too. I mean, if we're talking about games that actually could be won by either team, then we're talking Chargers, Texans, maybe, Commandos, and the Buccaneers, right? And that might be it. I highly doubt that the Vikings or Detroit would lose to the Rams. Philly should take care of Green Bay, even though Green Bay can be dangerous at times, but they also look like shit at times, right? But Buffalo's going to manhandle, Denver. Baltimore and Lamar are going to manhandle Russell Wilson and the Steelers. They look like shit yesterday. And, again, it's really going to be the Commandos and Bucks and the Chargers and Texans. Those could go either way, but everything else looks pretty one-sided if you ask me. Anzalone, I see you. But I will give you that. The Broncos defense is good, but going against the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen and James Cook in Buffalo with that crowd a rocking, no chance. Little check down. And I was actually going over the stat line, and obviously Josh Allen only played like a snap and went out. Lamar's numbers are better than Josh Allen. The really only number that, Josh Allen is better than Lamar in this year is rushing touchdowns. But if you're actually looking at numbers, Lamar's numbers are better. But, he's already won the MVP, so they'll probably just give it to Josh Allen since Lamar's already had it, obviously a few times. So, yeah, and Lamar's one of those guys that could easily, throw for 50, 60 touchdowns, I think, if he wanted to, depending on the offense at some point or another, if it continues to get better and better on the offensive line. And again, he's a guy that could easily rush for 1,000 to 1,200 yards. And for him to even throw for 30, 40, 50 touchdowns and have 800 yards rushing, where most quarterbacks can't do that. But Lamar isn't really a quarterback. The guy is like a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, all in one body. I've never seen a player like Lamar, and he's very special. Facts. Zay in the building. What's good? Second down and 4 on the Minnesota 43. Uh-oh. False start. What's good, Zay? And again, I'm not bandwagon whatsoever, because if I was bandwagon, I'll be like, oh, yeah, we're going to crush the Commandos. We're going to make it to the NFC Championship game. But I'm not an idiot. I realize our defense isn't very good. And, we almost lost today against the Saints. We look like shit in the first half. I don't know if any of you guys watched that game, if it was local in your area, but the Bucs didn't look very good, and the Saints were playing with a lot of energy and a lot of heart, and we almost lost. But in the second half, we kind of turned it up a little bit with Baker and Jalen McMillan and Mike Evans, thank God, Bucky Irving, and we ended up getting the dub. But it shows you, man. I mean, it's definitely difficult, in the NFL to be able to get into the playoffs no matter who you play. Darnold, plenty of time, and complete across the middle there, intended receiver. I'm not even sure if there was one there. Incomplete. I was about to say, was that Jordan Addison, who was actually out over in that general area, but Hawkinson went to the left. Ooh. Third down. Sam Darnold, shotgun set, pass incomplete to TJ Hawkinson, fourth down. Yeah, defenses are definitely stepping up here for both. Chief with a fiver. Good start, you guys. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Appreciate you. I believe we're at 20 now, 80 to go. Last regular season game. Appreciate every single person showing that love for all the hard work that I put in during the college football season and the NFL season. Shout out to you guys. And obviously the Lions won the first matchup on the road, 31-29 in week 7, if you forgot. So the Vikings are going to be definitely looking to have payback, and winning on the road, even if it only ends up being by a couple, but we'll see what happens here. Vikings with the punt. Ooh, nice juke right there. Oh, hit him with the fucking hezzy. Skirt. Okay. All right, so for the individuals that donated Megan, Captain Chief, just let me know when you are wanting photos. We can wait, during commercial breaks. We can, I don't know how long the three of you are going to be here, the whole stream, half of the stream, or if you got to go at some point or another. But for the three of you, starting with Megan, you guys just can type in what you guys are looking for, and I got you. Appreciate you guys very much. Megan with a 10er, Captain with a 5er, Chief with a 5er, and hopefully we'll get a few more people to come through and show some love for the most highly anticipated season finale in NFL history. 14-2 Minnesota Vikings, 14-2 Detroit Lions, and it's just kind of crazy to think that the loser goes from, being at maybe the best record in the NFL other than the Chiefs, right? And then the team that you're playing, the loser goes to 14-3. Do you understand how hard it is to get to 14-3 and that doesn't win the division? Are you kidding me? And then you go from winning the division, winning the conference, to being a 5 seed, but that's the harsh reality that we're in. But, that's probably not really that much of a big deal for the Vikings or Lions because, if they have to go on the road to the Rams, Stafford, Cooper Kupp, right? Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, we definitely know, and, Jared Verse and a few of those other guys that they ended up drafting. The Rams are, kind of a sneaky team like Green Bay where you kind of fear them a little, but if, the team that has the better record shows up, it shouldn't be a problem. But for whatever reason, if they have injuries or a slow start, we know that Green Bay has the ability to upset Philly, even though we probably think it's not going to happen. But if Green Bay plays hot with Jordan Love, anything is possible. We've seen Green Bay do crazy things this year. Same thing with the Rams. They might have lost today to the Hawks, but when they're on and they didn't have all their starters playing today, and I don't assume that they're going to be able to beat Detroit or Minnesota, but the crowd will definitely help them being at home a little, to try to get a little home field advantage. But really, I only see the games that are going to be 50-50. Chargers and Texans, Commandos, Buccaneers. Those are the ones that I feel could go either way. Everything else, it looks pretty set in stone to me. So you want Gino? I got you.
Then the NFC playoffs against the Packers, Eagles, 4:30 on Fox. Our team will be in Tampa to watch Jake Daniel and the Commanders take on the NFC South champions, Buccaneers. As you said, the 4-5. The loser of this
back to back, baby. I love it. Hard to be able to win a division 4 years in a row. Panthers did it twice, Falcons once, Saints 4 in a row, and then now the Bucks 4 in a row. And I'll tell you what, it feels pretty fucking good. And way to get those good incentives by Gino today, for, them beating the Rams. That would obviously propel me to the 3 seed, so I wouldn't have to play the loser of this game in the first round. Thank you, Seattle. Halfback toss. Ooh, how did he get through that hole? Jahmyr Gibbs there with the short game. 2nd down and 6 on the Detroit 26. Okay. I'll sprinkle in a few of your usuals and whatnot. Even though we're doing football, I can still do your Silver Foxes. No worries. If you'd rather have those than Seattle Seahawks players, it's no worries. I can do whatever. It's whatever you're feeling at the time. I mean, I'm already going to be putting up Seattle stuff for captain, so, and then we'll get Chief some Chief photos or whatever he's thinking. 2nd down and 6. Goff, looking. Sam Laporta, 1st down, Lions, move the chains. Appreciate it. How are you? Reflect in the building. And I was really rooting for you guys to get that victory, too. It got kind of nerve-wracking there at the end because the Rams were driving. I'm like, no. And thank God. And Gino got some extra incentives based off his stats this year, and obviously with a bad offensive line and still being able to hit some of those metrics for extra bonuses. Salute to Geno Smith and the Hawks for getting that dub. Little spin move there by Gibbs. And again, that's not going to work on the Minnesota Viking defense. It might work on a bad defense like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but that shit ain't going to work on Minnesota. Yeah. But also on the flip side, if the Rams played all of their starters, they probably would have won. I think that's a fair statement to say. But since they didn't really play a lot of their starters, you guys ended up getting the dub. And it's still possible that you guys could have won if they played all of their starters. But just based on how close the game was with their backups, I think it's kind of fair to say that, there might have been a probability that, maybe the Rams would have ended up winning if they would have not rested some of their key guys. So, but that was their choice, right? And then now they're going to have to play the loser of this game. So I think the Rams kind of fucked themselves. If I was the Rams, I would have tried to, try to win, especially against the rival right there at the end. But if Sean McVay believes that health and rest is more important, then, good luck with the Lions or Vikings next week. A little check down incomplete because that one could get ugly. Yeah, and Gino getting a little banged up too, so. Jared Goff, short pass to the middle to Sam Laporta for 8 yards, 3rd down and 2 to the Minnesota 36. We're still knotted up here at 0, baby. Goff. And then obviously with the Falcons, they needed to win and have the Bucks to lose, but they couldn't even beat the Panthers. And shout out to Bryce Young. You know, the Panthers looked terrible, you know, at the beginning of the year, then had to go back and forth with a couple different quarterbacks, went back to Bryce Young, and he actually kind of made a name for himself. Yeah, you know, they didn't win a bunch of games, you know, once Bryce got back in there the second time around, but they played a hell of a lot better ball and they were more competitive. And Bryce Young actually looks like a starter in the NFL now. So, you know, getting benched and then being able to have that adversity, I think helped him. And, you know, now it looks like, I mean, they got a long ways to go from being good, you know, but to be able to beat Atlanta, you know, in overtime, that was pretty special, you know, especially when Atlanta needed the win to be able to try to make the playoffs. Obviously, they needed the Bucks to lose, and we didn't, but we almost did. We looked like shit in the first half. I was getting nervous. I was like, how the hell are we losing to the Saints by 10? It was terrible. Yeah. I ended up watching a little bit of that, but you know, it's nice to be able to see guys that, you know, we kind of like felt like we were giving up on. Oh, he's a bust, you know, and then, you know, sometimes you got to be able to give a player a little bit more time. Remember, teams let down quarterbacks more than quarterbacks let down teams. So yeah, Collinsworth. Yeah. Well, again, it went Panthers twice, Falcons once, Saints 4 in a row, and you remember that era with Drew Brees, and then we've won 4 in a row after you guys won 4 in a row. So it's definitely been a Saints-Buccaneers division the last 8 years. It's either you guys or us. Bouncing it to the outside, big stiff arm there by Reynolds. Flag on the play. Holding on the offense. But besides the Bucks win, this one made me happy to see the players celebrate, you know, Mike Evans making history. You know, who cares about the $3 million? Of course, Mike really appreciates that. But to be able to, you know, have 1,000 yards, 11 straight years from the beginning of your career with crappy quarterbacks like Jameis Winston to elite quarterbacks like Tom Brady and Baker Mayfield at the end of his career, and then I get that last catch. And if you saw the emotion from the coaches and the players on the field, I don't think I've seen anything like that in a long, long time where the other teammates were really as excited for Mike as Mike was. And that's when you know the Bucks are together as a team. We like to celebrate other people's accomplishments. It's not always about individual, you know, for that individual person. And Mike is selfless. Good tackle there by Minnesota. Goff to Tim Patrick, the former Bronco there. Shoestring tackle by Griffin. 4th down. Yeah, I mean, especially when you know your defense isn't the greatest. You know, they're going to be going for it many, many times. Look at the Minnesota defense, though. 4th down, number 1. Something's got to give. I mean, Detroit goes for it more than any other team, but Minnesota's defense has been, you know, in the top 5, and in some categories, they've been in number 1, number 2, number 3 during the season. Blitz? Floater? Oh, they got it! Wow, J-Mo, 1st down, Lions. Nice time blitz by Minnesota, but J-Mo's got that speed, and again, they may have the 2 most electric players in the NFL with Jahmyr Gibbs and Jamison Williams. Again, you just need to have enough time to be able to sidearm it, just to avoid the pressure, sidestep it, and then to be able to sling it in there. He gets obviously knocked backwards and, you know, into the turf, but he had enough oomph on that football to get it there, and J-Mo took care of the rest. Great speed. Handoff. Ooh, baby, he's getting loose. Touchdown, Lions. And speaking of electricity, there he is, Jahmyr Gibbs. Oh, my. He is that dude. Wish we had the Thunder and Lightning, the Sonic and the Knuckles, but no David Montgomery, at least at this point. No problem. Nice job, Jahmyr Gibbs. Extra point is up and good. 7-0 Lions. All right, let's get some photos up here. We'll do some Megan photos first, then we'll sprinkle in more Gino for captain, and then Chief will get some other photos there as well. We'll do a little bit of your boxes that are silver, and then I'll sprinkle in maybe some Zorn or Largent just for that Seattle vibe for you. I'll get enough of your favorites in here. New episodes of SVU on the 17th. Just like on the same date as Severance on Apple TV Plus. Can't wait. Love me some sci-fi. I'm still watching X-Files from the very beginning. I think I'm on season 3, season 4. I can't get enough of it. I love it. And Chief, if you're in the building still, you let me know if there's anything that you want to be able to see. If other than Chief players, I got you. Get a couple here up for the Hawk fans as well, Captain.
So you get high speeds for low prices.
Better than getting low speeds for high prices.
Yeah.
Xfinity Internet customers.
Appreciate you guys.
Like free for a year plus a free 5G phone.
Tonight's 4K Skycam coverage is brought to you by Walmart Plus. Look up, sit upside, the Phoenix, Chelsea Phillips. Start with the Pistons for Aaron. The crowd. 7-0, Lions on top. And Minnesota will get it for the second time.
See if I can squeeze in a couple Jamal Charles here. Appreciate you, Chief and Captain and Megan so far. See if I can get one more squeezed in. Touchback. Gives me enough time to squeeze one more in here. Shout out to the three of you so far for helping out. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, I got you. Once we get into another commercial break, give me some time. 7-0 Detroit. Darnold, play action fake, pressure. And it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a big sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. can squeeze one in real quick for you in between plays. I got you. I work fast. Big sack lunch there by Detroit. Feeding off the crowd at home. Little screen pass. Aaron Jones, tiptoeing in my Jordans, tiptoeing down the sideline, riff-raffing. I see you. Decent gain there of 9 yards. Third down. Third down and 18. My God. Yeah, hell, I would have never went there to begin with, but again, money talks, and of course he wants to be able to, make some more babies with another female here, another female there. If he was really serious about his legacy, he would have never left Kansas City. Darnold, incomplete. And maybe we wouldn't have seen Mahomes drop off, based off, the skill set, of him, kind of going from a guy that could throw for 40, 50 touchdowns, 4,000 to 5,000 yards to a guy that is kind of middle of the pack quarterback now. Still a famous name, but again, not one of the best in the league this year by any means. But if Tyreek was still there, and we know Tyreek has been kind of banged up and injured, but he hasn't really been the same player since he left KC. That's what happens when you get greedy and you want the bag and you want the money and you want the lifestyle of Miami, and then you realize that Tua ain't it and the Dolphins are not it. Good defense there. End of the first quarter, 7-0 Lions. All right, see if I can get a few more photos sprinkled in.
Everybody talked about this game, but they said, it's going to be 45 to 42. One of those campaigns. And so far, we've seen the defense, the much maligned, injured.
So I can get one more sprinkled in.
And Detroit is getting it done on the defensive end. They're getting those hits on Darnold. It's exactly what they wanted to do. Well, listen, gamers, to David.
That's a good one.
Jameer Gibbs has seen much more action, and it's getting a lot more attention to Chris. He's moving himself quickly up to the best back to the league category. He really is, and you can tell kind of by talking to defenders.
Oh, God, Chris Collinsworth.
He's one of those guys, You think you got a handle on him, and sometimes it's the little spinner passes or a screen pass or the simple little runs that don't look like much, like the one he just took out there.
Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 by the first hour and a half, 30 to 50 if we get the volume and a boost. And then obviously we'll be shooting for 100 in the donos on every single stream. Let's go, baby. End of the first quarter, 7-0 Detroit. The winner of the game gets the 1 seed. The loser is the 5 seed and plays the Rams on the road. We're at 20, 80 to go. A new season of Swamp People is on the way, I believe Thursday on History Channel. If you guys follow that show, obviously I do. I've been watching that since LaMichael James gave me the recommendation years ago. And again, it's all about Troy and everyone else there and Pickle. Can't wait to be able to see what they got cooking on that show. And then I've been watching Silo, obviously with the new season. I'm waiting for Severance. That's going to be awesome. Season 2, same day as SVU on the 17th. And then there's quite a few shows that are going to be, sprinkled in, obviously, in 2025. Some of them we're going to have to wait a little while. But the biggest show in 2025, arguably, is going to be Stranger Things. And when Stranger Things drops, season 5, the last season, the world will shut down for about a week. Especially that first couple days that it drops. Can't wait to be able to see when that comes out and how they end that story. But I definitely like to be able to look on the internets to kind of peek ahead to see when all the shows drop. That's how much of a nerd I am. And then once I go through the list, I usually put it in my calendar in my phone to give me a reminder that pops up in the morning when the new show is going to debut to give me something to look forward to. Flag on the play. Penei Sewell with a rare penalty there.
Look at him on the back end.
Matt in the building. What's good? Congrats on the Broncos. Like I was telling my boy Justin, it might have been a bunch of backups that you played, but who cares? You won, right? You ended up the playoff, drought is over. Bo Nix as a rookie gets in. You get Herbert and Nix as Oregon quarterbacks in the playoffs. Pretty cool. I don't think anyone expects the Broncos or the Chargers to go far, but to at least get in, is pretty cool to represent the Ducks and represent their teams. Yeah, I haven't even watched Squid Game season 1. Obviously me being Asian and all my Asian buddies. Oh shit, big hit. Oh my God, that was one of the biggest hits of the year. Holy fuck! And what did I say at the beginning of the day? What did I say? Andrew Van Ginkel. Oh my. For me being a defensive fan, that's a shit that I live for. That reminds me of 80s, 90s football. Yeah! It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for another sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Let's go, baby. I'm proud of you too. You're making growth on the channel. Your first dono, obviously wasn't 99 cents, which that would have been completely fine if you would have done that, but you went above and beyond, and I appreciate it. Again, it's just, slow and steady progression, right? 4th down and long with the punt. Minnesota with great field position here. Nice hit there down to the 50. Man, Andrew Van Ginkel, he can do it all. Might be the most underrated defensive player in the entire NFL. And again, normally Minnesota's not known for a top 5 defense. But again, when you got a guy like that, a front man with a cool name like Van Ginkel, wow, crazy. Oh man, that got the juices flowing. That made me want to go hit somebody. Oh my God. Let's go. Let's go, baby. 7-0 Detroit. And I would assume that, this drive, good field position, you're going to get at least a field goal out of Minnesota. But, again, they're going to try to be able to go, see if Jetta is covered with a safety over the top or if he's got, man coverage. And I would assume Addison, Hawkinson, Jetta, you're going to get some of these guys on crossing routes, and eventually they're going to be able to get loose unless they ended up running some kind of fade to the back shoulder. But, don't be surprised if Minnesota scores on this particular drive, and hopefully they get a touchdown. So that way we have a 7-7 game and we have a little bit of excitement. And like I was mentioning earlier in the broadcast, week 7, the Lions won on the road in a thriller, if you remember, 31-29. A lot of us watch so much NFL that we don't remember because we watch so many games. But so the road team ended up winning, in that first head-to-head matchup. So Minnesota is definitely trying to get a little bit of payback.
Football games, at Xfinity, we know the games only last once. That's why we built Xfinity Internet with the fastest speeds and ultra low lag.
No, Van Ginkel was Miami Dolphins. Came in quite a few years back. I want to say like 2019. I want to say around there. And this is his first year in Minnesota. So he was there from 2019 to 2023. And then this year, obviously, Minnesota. So correct me if I'm wrong or whatever. I'm not, Hell yeah, man. I mean, first year with Bo. Let's go. Hand off. Cam Akers. And one thing, that you could say about Minnesota, if they could have something a little bit better, they need a better running back room. And it's not like Aaron Jones is terrible or Cam Akers and some of those guys, but, I think they need a little bit better. Aaron Jones is kind of past his prime. Like, he would be a good RB2, but if you could have someone better than him, then that would really solidify, trying to be more well-rounded, considering you have Addison and Hawkinson and Jetta, but the running back, room could obviously be a little bit better. Flag on the play. Oliver with the catch. Hell yeah, my guy. Congratulations. It's skill during the regular season, complete luck and matchups in the playoffs. Congrats, man. How many leagues did you do this year? 3 or 4. So, I mean, even if you only get one championship out of 3 or 4, at least you're getting one. There's people that end up doing 5 to 10 and they don't even win any. So, shout out to you. First down and 10. Got to get Addison and Jetta the ball. And I know that they've been very Addison there, but good defense by Detroit. Detroit's defense, is playing like they have all their starters out there. Like you can't tell that they're missing, 16, 17, 18 guys. Again, Kirby Joseph, stud, right? Brian Branch, stud. So it's really the secondary is pretty good and still flying around for them there. It's the front seven that's a little concerning by the Lions, but they played well up to this point. Darnold, going long, going deep, one-on-one, overthrown, incomplete. And again, the routes and the play calling could be much better. Darnold doesn't have a whole lot of time. I'm not saying they have to get cute about it, but again, if you're watching the way that Detroit is playing, you got to be able to exploit some of the weaknesses, and that's going to be in the middle of the field if they're going to be playing that kind of zone. So crossing routes, slant routes, that's what you need to run. And then eventually you can run something to the outside like Addison or Jetta for that big play. But again, you got to dink and doink and chip away and kind of see what the defense does. And they're going to give you what they're going to give you up to this point. But that'll change in the second half. Take what they're going to give you. Darnold steps up in the pocket. Floater. There we go. First down on cue. Justin Jefferson. Move the chains. There you go. And again, you can do the same thing with Addison. You can do the same thing, with Hawkinson. These guys are all capable. But Addison and Jetta, those are going to be the guys that they can get the great separation to be able to get those great yak yards that they're going to need to be able to win this game. And now you're getting close, and we'll see if they end up giving a couple looks to Cam Akers and Aaron Jones, because they do like to have a balanced offense. They're not going to just throw. But again, it might be minimal until they end up going. Akers, short gain, tackled by 4 Lions there. Second and goal. So if I'm the offensive coordinator here and, you got Jetta and you got Addison, and if the look is there, those are obviously the first options. But if it's me and I'm calling plays right here, I would probably, on second or third down, I would probably give a look to Hawkinson, because I think that they wouldn't even think that he would get the ball, or like a Munt. You're going to like the tight ends and Oliver, Munt, Hawkinson. Go somewhere that they don't think you're ever going to go, and then that guy might be wide open. Jetta might be double covered. Addison, it might not be a good look. But, in this particular scenario, there's going to be other opportunities for Addison and Jetta to get in the end zone. Now, if they're open, yeah, you go to them. But again, like the way that my brain thinks, I'm always trying to get the advantage, and I'm always trying to put myself in the shoes of the OC, but I would definitely be going to a lower name player, an Oliver, a Munt, a Hawkinson. Why not? Again, they'll be able to beat the linebacking core on who's on them. Second and goal. Nobody open. And throws it away. Good decision there. Good man-to-man defense by the Lions. And complete. Ooh, 15 wins. Exactly. There you go. 3rd and goal. Darnold pass incomplete to Hawkinson. So it looks like me and Kevin O'Connell, we're on the same page. We're trying to think. And again, I feel like I watch football enough, that I know where to go. It's just a matter of, are they going to be open enough or not? Not a good throw there by Darnold, And again, sometimes going with other guys that are capable, Oliver, Munt, Hawkinson, they're not going to assume that you're going to go there. They assume it's going to be Jones, Akers, Jetta, Addison. And then, once in a while, maybe you'll go a different direction. So, and obviously here on 4th and goal, they go to Jetta, incomplete, stupid, go for 3. You're not Dan Campbell. You're not the Lions. You take the points while they're there, and that might come back to haunt them, and they may lose the game now because they gave up points right here, dummies. Addison was open momentarily there on the right-hand side. But again, if you have the opportunity to take the 3, I get it. Both teams are 14-2. I get it that Detroit ended up winning on the road the first time around, but you never, ever leave points on the board, even if you feel you have one of the top 5 offenses in the league and your defense is great, right? It's not like Darnold has been in a good rhythm yet, right? Take the 3. 7-3 is a lot better than 7-0. And then if we end up having a monster comeback by the Vikings, but the Lions win at the end of the game by 1, 2, or 3, we're going to remember that play right there and be like, that's the reason they lost, because they didn't take the 3. And they would have made that too. I know. Dumb, bro. Dumb. You already called in, though, mentally, remember? Right? You said, I'm not fucking going. If you check out Elliot's Instagram, or if you guys or any of you guys are friends with him on social media like myself, you can see some of the photos that he posted with the dogs. How much snow did you actually get out there, Double E? I'm a little jealous seeing the dogs out there. You even posted a little video. I'm like, damn, man, I wish me and Paisley lived close by. We would come hang out and whatnot. We could have our dogs just go run around and go cray-cray out there in the snow. But I don't know when we're going to be getting any type of snow, but it'll definitely not be as much as some of y'all that live in the Midwest. That's facts. First time around, Lions won 31-29, week 7 on the road. And then just to go over some of the details, obviously with the seeding that we've already went over. Loser, if it ends up being Minnesota, they end up being the 5 seed and play the Rams. The Commandos are a 6 seed. They travel to Tampa, the 3 seed. And then Green Bay is the 7 seed. They travel to Philly. And you would assume Philly will take care of Green Bay. The Vikings, if they lose, will take care of the Rams. The Commandos and the Bucs is the only one that could really be 50-50, could go either way. And then you got the Chargers at the 5 seed against the Texans at home as the 4 seed. The Chargers are a better team, but that one, could go either way, right? Steelers at the 6 seed, Ravens at the 3 seed. Steelers have lost 4 straight. There's 0% chance the Steelers are going to beat the Ravens. We saw what they did yesterday. Absolutely nothing. And then you got the Broncos as a 7 seed. Unfortunately, they have to match up against Buffalo on the road. So, their season will be over, but at least they made the playoffs. Denver's got a good defense, but I don't give them really any chance against Buffalo. Not being a hater, just being honest. And then obviously I went over the structure of the draft. And if you guys came in here a little bit later, like Reflect and Matt, 1 second here. Goff, hands off. Gibbs, bouncing it to the outside. Decent gain. So this is the draft order. Titans 1, Browns 2, Giants 3, Pats 4, Jags 5. And then Raiders 6, Jets 7, Panthers 8, Saints 9, Bears 10. And then 11 through 18. 11 is Niners, Cowboys at 12, Dolphins 13, Colts 14, Falcons 15, Cardinals 16, Bengals 17, Hawks 18. And that's all updated within the last 30 minutes. So play action fake. Oh, look at Van Ginkel. Wow. What a stud. Incomplete, I would assume. If it's up to your knee, then that's got to be I don't know if that's a foot, but I imagine lots of snow. I mean, over here, we typically get a couple inches of snow, maybe 4 or 5 inches of snow, maybe at the most. But in the Midwest, that's like child's play. You guys can get like 4 or 5 inches in like an hour. So, some places are going to be 8 inches of snow, a foot of snow, a foot and a half of snow. So stay safe out there. I bet it's awesome. David says 3 to 6 in Philly. Woo! Stay safe out there. Sarah's got 8 inches of snow. Wow, and it's snowing again. Wow. I mean, if you don't got anything to do, it's nice. But if you have to travel, go to work, go shopping, it could be a headache a little bit. Pass to the sideline complete. Sam Laporta. First down, Lions. Lions sure playing with a lot of heart here. And even though they don't have a defense, their defense is playing like they are missing 0 starters. It's definitely a battle here tonight. I mean, I love being outside. Like having Paisley has kind of awoken the inner me that used to love being outside and camping and listening to nature and just being out there. Because again, if I didn't have Paisley, I sure as hell probably wouldn't be able to be disciplined enough to walk an hour and a half to 2 hours, 7 days a week. But I'm really blessed that I have her and that we both need it for our mental health and our happiness. And it's just nice to be able to, go on adventures every day together. Wow. Yeah, should have been a grounding call probably there. Threw it right there at the back of the leg as he was about to get sacked lunch by Van Ginkel. Yeah, it's nice and peaceful when the snow is out for sure. Handoff. Reynolds putting his head down, almost getting to the marker. 3rd down and 1 at the Detroit 23. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. And help out with the dono train if you can. Be greatly appreciated. Wow. Yeah, that's beautiful out there, E. I'm jealous. I am jealous of that snow. 3rd down and 1. Reynolds run for 3 yards. First down, Lions. Yeah, your ass ain't going to work tomorrow. You already mentally checked out, so you enjoy the snow. And again, it sounds like there'll be a lot of people not going to work in that area tomorrow. And then we got the debut of fucking Monday Night Raw tomorrow. Are you kidding me? On Netflix? So for the people that are staying home, if you're a wrestling fan like me and some of the people in the room, oh my God, it's going to be so awesome. And then again, Monday Night Football is over, so we're going to be able to do that on Mondays now moving forward. So definitely excited about that. Play action fake. Goff, pressure, intercepted! Oh! Oh, shit. Minnesota's defense. There's a reason why they've been, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 in a lot of categories. Andrew Van Ginkel, he's the main guy that you kind of hear of, but they have many, many weapons. Look at that. Tipped. And the awareness for Minnesota this year. And again, they legit have a shot to be able to upset the Lions or the Eagles and make the Super Bowl because of the defense. Unbelievable. Wow. Big turnover. We've been seeing a lot more thick sixes and big guys getting picks, linebackers tipping it to themselves. Man, I love defense. What a big turnover. And if they would have kicked the 3, they could be up, right? 10-7 if they get a touchdown here. Should have took that field goal early on. Darnold. Incomplete. And another problem about the Minnesota Vikings, in my opinion, Darnold can't run. There are so many times where if he actually had Baker Mayfield type of legs, where he could extend the play and run for first downs, right up the gut, bootleg to the right or left. Like, think about how much more deadly that they would be as a team. Darnold is strictly Tom Brady pocket. Like, he doesn't move more than a step or 2 outside of the box. And that is a problem. When you're slinging it and it's working, great. But again, when you need to be able to extend plays, Darnold just ends up throwing shitty passes that get picked, or he has to throw it away. He's very limited as a runner, and that is not good. That play specifically could have been at least some positive yards. Play action fake. Darnold back in the end zone. Incomplete. And I think the play calling has not been good for Minnesota up to this point either. You have to go to your wide receiver strengths. And if the middle of the field is open, right, that's where you need to go. You need to be running like some short slants and some crossing routes instead of doing everything in the back of the end zone on the left side and the right side. Like you're going to get those plays to open up later. Worry about just getting the yards and the points now and then, bouncing it to the outside later for that big 30-yard touchdown to Addison or Jefferson. It'll be there, But again, if you got Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch out there, it's not going to be easy to be able to go to Addison and Jefferson as if you had shitty corners. He's open. Golly. It's like the good Sam and the bad Sam. No touch on that fucking throw. Kick is up, and it's good. Should be 7-6. Should be fucking 10-7 Minnesota. And again, just being able to have a little bit of touch on that throw. He's fucking wide open. The Lion defender stopped. Fuck. Frustrating. No, I don't think so. I think that Sam has earned the right, and we don't know how far they're going to go. If they end up winning this game and, getting to the NFC Championship game or Super Bowl, there is absolutely no way that J.J. McCarthy will be playing over Sam. Like, now, if Sam ends up next year and they end up starting like 1-3, then maybe they bench him, throw McCarthy in when he's ready, see what he can do, and then go that route. But McCarthy will not be starting week 1 for Minnesota, There'd probably be more and I don't think they're going to trade him either, but I think there would be more likelihood to trade a guy like that rather than him being the starter day 1 next year. But realistically, he'll be on the bench, and they'll have him there as insurance. And then, they'll wait for Sam to fuck up, and then eventually they'll give JJ a chance, to prove themselves and to see if that draft pick was a waste or he actually has some game. So. And it's not like J.J. McCarthy can really run either. He's kind of a pocket guy too. So, they need to find a guy that can scramble in the pocket a little bit more. And I know it's like you have other guys out there, Pasternaut and, Joshua Dobbs and, you have these other guys, but they Sam is a good quarterback, based off his scenario. But if you look at the weapons that he has around him, his numbers should be better, but again, his lack of being able to go outside of the pocket to extend plays like a Baker Mayfield, that's what's really holding Sam back from taking the next step, and being in that higher category. It's like you might have played like a top 10 quarterback this year, but if Sam had Baker Mayfield legs, he might be considered top 5 this year like Baker, but he's very, very limited in the pocket, and I can't trust his arm, all the time, especially when he has pressure in his face. Like that Jetta throw in that back corner, if he just would have thrown it with a little bit of touch, that would have been a touchdown for almost any quarterback in the NFL right there. There was limited pressure. It was coming at him, but, the defender stopped, looked back, Jetta was open, and all you had to do was throw it within like a 3-yard radius in any direction, and Jetta would have got it. But then you fucking overthrow him, and maybe that was for the simple fact that they decided to say fuck it on the field goal the first time around, but now it's 7-3 Detroit. Yeah, but in the NFL, he hasn't shown that he can do it, though. Whether they tell him to stay in the pocket, but, you don't see him running in the NFL like you did in college. But obviously, college players are slower. So it's a lot easier to be able to gain yards as a college quarterback that's highly touted, and then you can run away, depending on like the spread offense or what kind of offense that you're running. But he's more of a traditional pocket guy, but how often have we seen Sam run for a 18-yard gain, a 12-yard gain, hell, an 8-yard gain? Not often. He's pretty limited. Might have been good at it in college, but we don't see that translate into the NFL, and he's not very fast either. He might have the ability to run, but, these players are faster in the NFL, and he ain't no Baker Mayfield, I'll tell you that. But even just going to the outside and running bootleg could improve Sam's stats tremendously. just to be able to extend plays and, run bootleg to the left or the right. But how often do you even see that? It's like if it's play action, he usually just drops back. He doesn't go to the left or the right unless he's being chased. And then if he gets chased, it's usually a sack lunch. But hopefully that'll get better, in his career. But that's one thing that I've noticed about him that could definitely be improved. Oh, look at it. It's the GOAT. Barry Sanders, baby. Goff. No check down. Oh, trips over his own feet. Tim Patrick. 8-yard gain. 2nd down and 2 on the Detroit 38. It all depends on how far they go this year. Again, if they win this game and depending on how far they go, that's, going to determine, what they want to do with Sam moving forward. I mean, because if you think about what the running backs, the wide receivers, and the tight ends, and the defense especially, that's like, almost anybody could, step in and put up monster fucking numbers for Minnesota. I mean, it's not like they have nobody to throw to and nobody to hand off to. I mean, they got a plethora of weapons. And then the defense is going to help them out tremendously, especially when they're putting up top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stats with a guy like Andrew Van Ginkel and company. So, I mean, you just have to be able to not fuck up, right? You don't have to be a game manager, but I just want to be able to see him get a little bit more out of his skill set. 1st down and 10. Handoff. Gibbs up the middle. Good defense there by Minnesota. Short gain. 2nd down and 7 on the Minnesota 48. We're at 20, 80 to go. Where are we at on the likes? 4 more to get to 20. Let's get there, baby. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. All right, 5 more to go. If you're in the room, there we go. 3 more to go. We're at 17 now. 3 more to go to hit the goal for the likes on the stream, and we'll see if we can get a few more people coming through. Short gain there for Jahmyr Gibbs again, getting tripped up. 4-yard gain. 3rd down and 3 at the Minnesota 44. 7-3 Lions. Reynolds, left tackle to the Minnesota 42 for 2 yards. 4th down and 1. Yeah, but Cousins is garbage. It's like when you see these guys like Aaron Rodgers, he's done. Cousins is done. Like, if you want to sign a guy like that to like the Titans or the Giants, fine, but, I wouldn't want to be spending any of my money, on guys like that, whether attitude issue or their body is just not healthy anymore. And I can't trust them. And there's going to be a couple guys floating around that will probably have a job, but, how good of a job are they going to do when they play? And, for me, Cousins and Rodgers are done. I wouldn't want any part of those guys. 4th and inches. Like if the Falcons would have started Michael Penix Jr. from the very start, maybe they beat the Bucs and win the NFC South. Just saying. He would have had a rough probably first month and a half like Bo Nix, but they probably would have been able to get just as many wins as the Bucs, maybe even like one more, to be able to win the division outright. So maybe they win it by 2 games. We've seen him progress pretty nicely. They didn't win against the Panthers today, but it wasn't all like Penix's fault. Challenge on the play. Yeah, but you live and you learn, and again, remember, people were bitching and moaning, why did we draft Michael Penix Jr. after we got Cousins? That's exactly fucking why. Because if it ended up being a disaster, that you had a good, backup plan. Imagine if they would have passed on Penix and drafted some garbage O-lineman or a defensive player that got hurt. Then they would be fucked, and then they would have to look at this draft. There's no quarterbacks. So then they would be fucked again. And then you have to wait to the following year and then hope that you get like a Quinn Ewers or someone like that. So, in reality, Atlanta was very, very smart to give themselves an insurance plan. And Cousins didn't even last a full season, let alone 2 or 3, as maybe some fans were expecting. So, just because a guy had success on another team like Minnesota doesn't mean that he's going to go to your favorite team and ball out. And also a guy that had a big injury. Anyone that's got an ACL, MCL, PCL, or an Achilles usually is not the same player when they come back. Especially an aging quarterback like Cousins. Now, do I love Cousins as a man? On like the Netflix show Quarterback? Yeah. The way that he talks to his wife and his kids, his teammates and the trainers, he is a class act and easy to root for. But I sure as hell wouldn't want him on my fucking team. Not at this point in his career. Everyone paid too much for Cousins. He's got the best agent on planet Earth. He has like one playoff win, and he's got like $1 billion in his bank account, and it's all like guaranteed money. And again, I mean, it's like you can put up good touchdown to interception ratio numbers, but as far as like big wins, he doesn't have very many. But again, he earned it based off his consistency. But again, having a big injury late in his career, that's going to be the end of him sooner than later. So, and he'll still get an opportunity to be a starter or backup somewhere. There'll be some desperate team. I mean, if you looked at the top teams that I mentioned in the draft, I mean, look at all those garbage teams that are going to be needing quarterbacks. And the Titans, they better not draft Shedeur Sanders #1, because if they do, they're going to be shitty for a long fucking time. Titans 1, Browns 2. The Browns will go to Deshaun Watson because they're stupid. Giants need a quarterback 3. Pats 4. They fired their fucking coach, Mayo, which I already knew was going to happen. Jags 5. Raiders 6. Jets 7. Panthers 8. Saints 9. Bears 10. I mean, a lot of those teams in the top 10 have so many fucking problems that, 1 year of drafting isn't going to turn that shit around. Like, they're going to need multiple good drafts for those top 10 teams to be relevant. And if you don't really have good personnel to draft well, it's probably going to take much longer for some of those teams, like 5 or 6 years, maybe even 7 years, and they still might not be good. Goff, play action fake, good protection up front. Floater, incomplete. All right, Darnold. And we'll see if we start getting some more crossing routes or routes that are in the middle, of the field instead of just bouncing it to the outside. Give me Oliver, give me Munt, give me Hawkinson appropriately. And obviously you need the guys that can give you the big plays, and that's Addison and Jetta, right? Running game is not that exciting, with Cam Akers and Aaron Jones. To me, those guys are RB2 and RB3. They don't even have an RB1, And they need that guy to be able to, be that class act, like the Josh Jacobs addition to the Packers. Obviously that would have been great for the Vikings, but he went to the Packers. And it's not like Aaron Jones is terrible, but to me, when I watch him run, he looks like a shadow of himself than when he was on Green Bay. Like, he just doesn't look like the same player anymore. And sometimes that's a harsh reality where, if you have a good O-line or a decent O-line, he just doesn't seem like he's got the speed and hit the holes the same way as he did with Green Bay. So they made the right move by getting Josh Jacobs and dumping Jones. And obviously for Jones to go to Minnesota, this is a great spot for him. But again, I don't really trust Akers or Jones or anybody in that running back room. Darnold. There you go. Look at him run. There you go. There you go. Show some toughness, Sam. There you go. I mean, sometimes you got to run for your fucking life, but also it provides an opportunity to show toughness. If you're willing to do whatever it takes, but besides getting hurt, you don't want to get popped too hard, but you want to make sure that the teammates know that you're going to do anything and everything to get that yard, to get that first down, to move the chains. Let's go, Sam. Third down. 3rd and 6. Plenty of options. Even a guy like Naylor could get the ball and get a first down. Darnold. Look at that, baby. My ESP is correct. First down, Vikings. I should be a fucking OC or like on a sideline somewhere. I swear, man. Like, I just feel like when I watch these teams and I go through their playbooks and I watch the OCs and how they operate, every coach and every OC is different, but it doesn't take me very long to kind of feel like, okay, how would I call it if I was on the sideline? And then you try to get into the head of them. Like, how would they call this game? And you try to get into the head of that OC or that DC. And I feel that that's one thing that I feel like I'm better than a lot of other people on other, channels, because just the amount of film that I watch, you can pick things up, and it's not going to always be, Justin Jefferson or Addison. Like, you've got to be able to sprinkle in some of the other guys, especially with the matchups with the tight ends against maybe a weaker linebacking core. Nice job to get the ball to Naylor. First down, Vikings. Let's go, baby. And I got that new image there of Jetta. Took me maybe about a half hour to go through many, many different photos. But I'm happy with that particular one, and I'll be able to use that one for the future as well. Turned out very, very well. Two of my favorite players. Even though I'm a defensive-minded fan, I love wide receivers, and these are two of the top 5 in the NFL. Fantastic. Now, I think about a month ago, we weren't really too sold, on Minnesota or Baltimore, but they definitely have leapfrogged other teams that maybe we were considering. I don't know if there was another team that we were considering in the NFC, because it was pretty much just been Detroit and Philly. All right. But again, about a month and a half ago, we said, okay, Chiefs, Bills, Steelers. But then the Steelers go 0-4 in December and early January, and now they look like they can't do anything. So we know Baltimore, they played them yesterday, beat the brakes off of them, and that's going to happen again in the playoffs. When they're in Baltimore, it's going to get fucking ugly. Shows you the importance of offensive line and actually having a quarterback that can get the ball to their players, as well as not having immature wide receivers like a George Pickens. There's just so many things that are off with Pittsburgh, and their defense has some names, with TJ Watt and Cameron Hayward and Minkah Fitzpatrick, but they don't have the same kind of impact on that defensive side of the ball as previous years. They have a little bit of weakness there, with some of the other spots. So defense might have been able to bail them out back in the day, but not anymore. Yeah, and then, going on a skid, losing 4 straight in December or January, you want to go 4-0 in December or 3-1, not go 0-4. I don't think I've ever seen a good team go 0-4 before, late in the year. This is like the first time. Yeah, you've actually had a decent team that, ended up dropping. So it was 10-3, and now it's like 10-7. Unbelievable. Aaron Jones with the spin move. There you go. That was a little vintage Green Bay. I see you. There you go. Yeah, both of these teams are likable. Philly's got the best, well-rounded team, from offense and defense. Vikings obviously are decently well-rounded as well, but we have issues trusting Sam. And then Detroit, with the best offense, but the defense, at times will play great like today, but there's also times where you're a little nervous with all those injuries on 15, 16, 17 guys on injured reserve. Nice pitch. There you go, Aaron. Flag on the play. That one might be coming back. Is that a hold? But one thing is for sure, it's a fun matchup. And it's cool to be able to see 14-2 and 14-2 go at it in the last regular season game of the NFL season. We've never seen this before. There's never been a 14-win team that hasn't won the division before, ever, in NFL history. Automatic first down. Bad penalty there on O'Connor. Defensive holding. Yeah, Chiefs might not be likable to some people, but again, the teams that have the most, either well-roundedness or discipline, it's going to be the Eagles and the Chiefs. So if we end up getting that rematch again, I will not be shocked. Of course, everyone would love Lions-Bills so we could get a 44-41 Super Bowl, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, we definitely feel there's going to be at least an upset, somewhere, on the AFC or the NFC side, but defense wins games, defense wins championships, and it's pretty rare to have a team that doesn't have a defense to win it all. I mean, when's the last time that we had a team that didn't have a defense win it all? Look it up. Most of the time, the teams have a top 10 defense. In the Brady era, I mean, you might be able to have a team that's like middle of the pack defense, like when the Chiefs, early on with Mahomes, but then the offense was just ridiculous. Third down and 5. And if I am the OC here, as you are getting closer to halftime, again, going to someone that you don't assume is going to get the ball. Naylor, Oliver, Hawkinson, Munt. Again, it doesn't have to always be Jetta, Addison. Of course, those are the best players, but you have to understand Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch are two of the best in the NFL this year. Like literally, right? Robertson's been good too. So again, wait for that to be able to open up naturally and just take what the defense gives you. And of course, everyone wants to be able to see that big Jetta touchdown and that Addison touchdown. But again, the strong suit for the Lions at this point is their secondary. I mean, otherwise the game would be much higher scoring right now if that wasn't the case. But let's see where they end up going here. And they go to Naylor. Incomplete. 4th down. Good pressure there by Detroit. Offensive line letting Minnesota fans down a little bit here. Field goal is up and good. 7-6. Detroit should be 9-7 Minnesota. There was nobody there. Detroit's scheme in this game has been fantastic. I mean, when's the last time that we've seen a team that had this many injuries on defense play this well against a team that's got a lot of fucking weapons on offense? I'm not sure if anyone anticipated, my type of game where it's just defense. But again, I want to be able to see offense too. I don't want to see a fucking, 12-9 final, or something like that. Like I want to be able to see a pick six, a fumble for a touchdown, sack lunches. But then I also want to be able to see a big rushing touchdown, a big long receiving touchdown as well. It's like, even though I love defense, I still want the game to be in the high 20s. And then obviously if it gets into the 30s or 40s, great. Early defense on, and then maybe they get tired and then the offense picks it up in the second half. But right now, very, very low scoring. I mean, we're pacing right now for a 14-12 game. I know that's not going to happen, but shout out to both defensive coordinators in this matchup with all of these amazing weapons on the Lions offense and the Vikings offense. They've been definitely stepping up. Now, the Vikings defense doing good. Well, they've been a top 5 defense all year. Some categories, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. But the Lions defense, they don't really got anybody besides Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch on the back end. And then everyone else that was kind of a meaningful guy is on IR right now. So, I mean, they're doing better than expected. And they're playing with high energy, high motor. And again, like if you didn't know, you would feel like the Lions have all of their defensive starters out there today, even though they don't. They've definitely overachieved on that side of the ball here this evening. I mean, receivers are divas, right? If you don't get the ball, you don't get it in the end zone, And again, it might have been awesome to get that bag after winning, the Super Bowl. But again, if Tyreek was, trying to be like one of the best wide receivers of all time, he would have stayed with Mahomes and Kelsey and Andy Reid, and that could have been something special, But he got greedy, wanted to live the nightlife in Miami, And again, he's a modern day Sean Kemp. It's like if you got 10 kids and 10 baby mamas, I mean, that's not a very good thing to have, You obviously don't care about football. There we go. Amon-Ra St. Brown with the catch. It's ridiculous on how many kids some of these NBA and NFL players have. It's like, get some fucking responsibility in your life. I get it. You're like a goddamn millionaire and whatnot, and you can pay the child support. But, I mean, it's like, what about the kids, though? They're the ones that fucking suffer. Fucking 10 kids, 10 baby mamas. You don't fucking give a shit about any of them? Come on, man. Be a father. Ridiculous. And then you get all the gold digger people that are trying to get the money from the player. Just a bad situation all around. First down, Lions. But Tyreek's legacy would have benefited a lot if he would have just stayed. But again, after you win a Super Bowl, maybe that's good enough for a lot of people. But, what about winning 3 Super Bowls, 4 Super Bowls? That's the difference, do you want to go down as one of the, best receivers of the time, or one of the GOATs in this generation? But that Miami lifestyle, a little bit better at night than Kansas City, so. But if your priorities are the club and women, then your priorities aren't right. Jake Bates attempting a long field goal here. And they're going to try to ice him here. Yeah, but it's not just athletes that have this problem too. It's also like actors, and whatnot, and certain people that are in Hollywood. Same type of thing. Nick Cannon, come on, my guy. Ridiculous. I feel bad for the kids. Field goals up and good. 10-6 Lions. Could have been 10-9 Lions and put them in a little bit better position. And again, if the Vikings lose this game by 1, 2, or 3, we're going to remember that field goal that they passed on. And, most of the time, 99% of the time, if you end up leaving points, you lose. Well, I don't think anybody anticipated a 10-9 game in this, but we didn't even get that. It's a 10-6 game, and hopefully the offenses can blow up in the second half, and we can get both of these teams in the 20s. Defense wins games, defense wins championships, and I guess it showed up here today in a 14-2 matchup. Oh, it's a great game. There's my boy, Mike Evans. Look at the celebration by the whole team. I've never seen anything like that. When's the last time you've seen a guy break a record and you've seen the whole team act like that and be happy for their player like Mike Evans? I've never seen that before. And, I don't know if we're going to be able to beat the Commandos at home, but I sure as hell want to. But, again, our defense is not good right now. It's like we got Vita Vea, we got Levante David. Our whole secondary is fucking injured. Antoine Winfield Jr., Izzy and everyone is fucking banged up. So it's like everyone can pass against us, but we are top 5 against the run. So if you want to run, good luck. Vita Vea will fuck you up, right? Levante David will fuck you up. But if you throw the ball efficiently, as Jaden Daniels can, it might not be very nice for me, obviously, when we match up with them. But at least we're at home, not on the road. So we'll have a chance. Just like the Chargers, we'll have a chance against the Texans on the road, but we'll see where it goes. It's my dude. First ballot Hall of Famer, man. The only receiver to get 1,000 yards, 11 straight seasons in a row, even with shitty quarterbacks. Him and Jerry Rice. That's pretty good company. We'll never have a receiver as good as him. But another thing that I've been noticing also, since Chris Godwin got hurt, if he decides or the organization decides to move on from Chris Godwin, we have a solid number 2 in Jalen McMillan. This is a guy that can score touchdowns every game, and he's really stepped up in the Chris Godwin absence. Now, I want Chris Godwin to come back and finish his career in Tampa, but if for whatever reason the injury and the money and they can't come to terms and Godwin is no longer a buck, it'll hurt. And it'll make me sad, but McMillan has proven that he's not a wide receiver 3. He's a wide receiver 2, and he can be just as good as an Addison or a Devontae Smith, and that's exciting, knowing that, that he can produce those kind of numbers. So shout out to my boy, Jalen McMillan. Huskies. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Only need a couple more to get the goal. One more like to get to 20, baby. Let's get there. Someone's got a backup account, or someone's in the room that hasn't done it yet. Let's go, baby. Let's get there. All right, I'm going to go check up on Paisley real quick, and then I'll be right back. Give me like a minute. I just want to make sure that she's doing okay. I'm going to give her dinner, and I'll be right back.
Pizza is the living. Get a large one-topping stuffed breast pizza. 16 bonus rings starting at $19.99. No one out the hut.
Now we're going to hit on Sam Darnold's misses. Look at the defense with some love. They come out and play football. Everything has been tough. They made everything hard. Darnold doesn't get the style that I love it, but shout out to the defenses.
Yeah, I love the fight by Aaron Glenn. It's aggressive. We're coming in with playing coverage. For me, there's too much pass. Too much drop by pass. Like Minnesota. Darnold's overexcited. He's pumped, he's sold the ball high. There's too many missed opportunities.
The big thing is the Lions pressure. Sam Darnold's been pressured, and more than half of his drop back passes. But these teams are close. The Lions, they scored a touchdown, tip pass on the 4th and short, and then, of course, a tip pass interception. It'll heat up in the second half.
Minnesota will get the ball to start the second half. Remember, the loser visits the Rams. The winner gets that 1 seed in the NFC. Let's take a look at next weekend's full schedule. Starts on CBS. Steelers, Ravens on Prime Video. 3 games on Sunday, starting with Broncos and Bills on CBS. Sunday late afternoon, the Packers are at the Eagles on Fox. And Sunday night on the VR game will feature the Commanders and Bucks here on NBC. And Seahawks won 5 in a row. And Tampa Bay so far, they won 6 of their last 7. What do you expect from this matchup?
I'm looking at these two quarterbacks. They've been clutch all year. We continue to say they show up in the biggest moments. And everyone's going to talk about Baker Mayfield and his experience. I play with the most experienced quarterback ever. And we get to play in every playoff game. So don't give me all the experience. I'm worried about Tampa's defense. Tampa puts too many people at the line of scrimmage to stop the run. There's always a little too much pressure. Their secondary's beat up. They got to protect them a little bit, or James Daniels and company will pick them apart.
And when you flip it over to Tampa's offense, obviously Baker has to play well, get those weapons outside, but the key guy is Bucky Irving. Run the football against this Washington defense. They're vulnerable. You control the game and make that environment tough on the other side.
Well, this show we had the first-time coach, a rookie quarterback in the Commanders, but sometimes it makes a difference and they don't know what they have going against them. And James Daniels kind of plays as if he has no fear of the competition.
And I think that's the key. Dan Quinn is going to tell this team, hey, you played a certain way all year with me in this moment. Don't worry about not having experience, Shane Davis. You prove it to your teammates and the rest of the NFL how good you are. Just go play your game.
He's played in so many big moments throughout his career. This guy never blinks. It's never too big for him.
Tampa's O-line can overpower people to Jason Garrett's voice, and they're going to create man-to-man coverage.
All right, I'm back.
Against Buddy Evans. There's a history. They don't like each other very much.
And we're going to be on the lookout for Marshawn Lattimore. We're going to be on the lookout for Anthony.
Michael in the building. What's good? From NOLA.
Defenses step up. They shut down some of the things he was doing over and over again. All they're trying to put in the ring on it. He communicates there, makes a world of difference.
Well, as we mentioned, the winner here is going to get the 1 seed. The loser, the 5 seed. I mean, they go on the road to take on the Rams. And we talked about the Eagles. They rested a lot of their players.
All right, Paisley's in here now, hanging out with Dad. 10-6 Lions. Yeah, I mean, the way that the game is going, yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, there's a possibility that he gets in the end zone, but best second half of his career, I mean, what kind of numbers are we talking? You need him to get 90 yards and 2 touchdowns in the second half, something like that, point-wise? All right, I'm going to get like Paisley a little lay down area here since she came in here. So give me 1 sec. All right, got a little I got a little area for Paisley here to lay down. Rodgers, 500 touchdown passes. Too bad he stinks now. Oh, Gino, $2 million. Oh, $6 million in incentives. Nice. Career high in passing yards, career high in completion percentage, and 10 wins with a terrible offensive line. Imagine if the offensive line was average, good, or elite. His numbers would have been through the fucking roof. Oh, wow. Ballard and Steichen will return. Uh-oh. Time to switch teams, Sarah. Time to find a new team like Pat McAfee. Goodbye, Colts. Oh, God. I mean, like I said, if you don't have a good owner or a good GM, life is hell, you know, for your favorite teams. You know, like I'm blessed, you know, that I got Jason Light, you know, for fucking Tampa. And, you know, we know how to evaluate players. We draft well every year and whatnot. But, man, for some of these teams that you guys have as your favorite teams, if you got a bad owner, a bad GM, bad coordinators, bad coaches, I feel really for you guys because nothing is worse when you have bad people at the top because that trickles down to the team down below. Oh, my God. What are they doing? I saw the Pat McAfee suite was empty, too. They definitely burned the bridges with each other there. I imagine he'll never go watch a game in the foreseeable future. So, all right, let me know what you guys want to do photo-wise. Obviously, as we got a few minutes here, you guys have anybody that you want to be able to showcase from your favorite team from the performance this weekend? You know, type it in the chat. I can throw in a couple photos. And then obviously, if we get a dono, that will get priority first. But while we wait, you know, for the dono train to continue, let me know and I got you. Appreciate that, Maximus, but you got it wrong. It's not back to back, bro. You need to pay attention. It's back to back to back to back. 4 times. Come on, Maximus. It's not back to back. It's 4 times in a row. Come on, Maximus. Aurelius Maximus. You got to get your stats right, my guy. Not back to back. Back to back to back to back. 4 times in a row, not 2. Come on. You can't discredit my team like that. It went Panthers twice, Falcons once, Saints 4 times in a row, back to back to back to back, and then we did the same damn thing. Back to back to back to back. Come on. Yeah, but that's not going to end in a tie because Minnesota left points on the board. So if anything, Minnesota is probably going to lose. But wishful thinking, though, if that were to happen.
We hand up everything every morning. You'll know how real it is because of how it tastes.
This broadcast is copyrighted by Handcloth Production. These are all events and this broadcast individual restrictions are constantly Tonight's first half is presented by Progressive. The acceleration,
Nobody's beating this guy.
Let's look at the video replay, see if you can set it with progressive. This one touchdown.
All right, start of the third quarter. I figured it was going to be a lot longer like we had in those college bowl games where it just went on and on and on, but we're already back. But I can squeeze in at least one here. Now let's keep track of everything like we have been on the channel. Likes and the dono train. Looks like we're right there at the like number, and then we're at, 20-80 to go. 9 for 20, 93 yards. Not good for Sam Darnold. You would think that the Lions would have a top 5 defense like Minnesota, but, again, they may not have, those kind of players playing, but they're playing inspired ball on that side at home as if they have all their starters out there. There you go. All right. We'll be here. Appreciate you. We're at 20-80 to go. All right, offense. I'm a defensive-minded fan, but this is too low scoring for me. Especially when you have so many amazing weapons, on offense on both teams. Let's get this into the 20s at the very least. We're not going to get into the 30s or the 40s, but we could get into the 20s, hopefully, or at least one team in the fucking 20s. Let's go. Defense is not just playing well, they're playing elite. They got all of those injuries and they held Minnesota to fucking 6. Are you kidding me? He's just trying to be coy and kind of we're playing pretty good. No, you're playing amazing. No one anticipated a fucking 10-6 game. Detroit's actually getting pressure out there, and it shows that Cincinnati doesn't have a defense, but Trey Hendrickson can take over a game. So sometimes you can have one elite player on the defense or two, and it can make enough plays to kind of hide some of the weaknesses that defense has. Just like with Russell Wilson, he can't do shit against Cincinnati's defense. Cincinnati's defense actually looked kind of good yesterday, even though that T-Rex pretty much took over the game, and that's a guy that can lead the league in sacks year after year after year after year and not get the recognition. That's my boy, T-Rex. Darnold, floater. Where's he throwing to? Nobody. Incomplete. Chief with a $5. Appreciate that. Whether it be on Cash App, Venmo, or on the Super Chat. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. One more like to 20. We should be able to get that very shortly, if not already. And we're a quarter of the way to the goal. We're at 25, 75 to go. Let's go, baby. 3rd down and 8 on the Minnesota 32. Darnold. Good protection up front. Floater. And complete. Intended receiver, Jay Jetta, but there's the flag. Penalty on Brian Branch. Automatic first down. Or is it on Robertson?
They are getting really physical, and one of the things that the Vikings talked about was they're trying to get off the ball against the
Sam Darnold, pass incomplete to Jordan Addison. 2nd down and 10 on the Minnesota 37. Shows you when you actually have good secondary, it's hard to be able to, move the chains or get big plays to happen. Normally we're like Amon-Ra in the end zone, Laporta in the end zone, Gibbs in the end zone, Addison in the end zone, Jetta for a touchdown or two. It's been a defensive fucking battle here today. Darnold. And complete. There we go. Let's try to get to 30 now. Shout out to all the new subs that we've acquired within the last month, especially here in 2025. Let's go, baby. One goal down, another goal to go. Appreciate you guys. Oh, baby. Oh, look at Akers rumbling and a bumbling, and then Detroit's front seven finally gets exposed. Holy cow, 58 yards, first down, Vikings. Score! Oh, my God. Look at the blocking up front right here. They literally just gang tackled and pushed everyone to the right there. Literally, any of us could have ran through that hole. Wow. Good vision by Akers there, but that was all offensive line. Buy them a lobster and steak dinner. Golly, that was beautiful. Now they're knocking on the door. Inside run. No gain to Akers. Let's see if Minnesota's play calling with O'Connell can get into the end zone here. We haven't seen any jet sweeps or reverses, and I'm not saying that Minnesota needs to get cute with it, but again, the play calling that they had strategy-wise was not good in the first half. And normally O'Connell is, a pretty good play caller, coming under, obviously, the Sean McVay tree. Here we go, man in motion. Little misdirection there. Jetta going to the right, and then Aaron Jones to the left. I think I would have liked that play, where you have Jetta running in motion as like a jet sweep and give it to him, or Addison. You want to make sure you're kind of keeping the defense honest right there. And obviously, if they would have went to Jetta on that play, it would have been a loss. But at some point, that play could work, and you may see that here later in the third quarter or the fourth quarter. But I do like the misdirection, because if they would have handed off to Jetta, it would have been like a 4-yard loss. And I wish Sam had better legs where you could run like an RPO with him or just bootleg. He's just so limited in the pocket. Sam, looking, running away, floater, incomplete. Pittsburgh versus Philadelphia has a 0% chance of happening. Pittsburgh can't even win a fucking game. They haven't even won a game in a fucking month. They're not even going to be able to touch Baltimore. Wishful thinking, Matthew. Not going to happen. I mean, unless we get Ben Roethlisberger and we go back in time. If he was the quarterback, yeah, maybe you could do something. But Justin Fields and Russell Wilson are not good enough. And that offensive line stinks. 4th and goal. Incomplete. Addison. Telling you, man, Darnold, if he plays a shitty team, he can look great. You know what I mean? But he is so limited by being just this pocket guy. I don't think you can win a Super Bowl with a guy like that, let alone an NFC championship game. I just don't see it, Golly. I mean, take the points. I mean, I know it could be ugly, but it literally could be 12-10 right now. 4 field goals. That's not sexy, but it can win you the game. I don't see Minnesota winning this game now. And I could have said that in the first half. You're leaving too many points on the board. You're playing, a game as if Detroit, was the team that you're coaching. You're coaching the Vikings. You don't go for it on 4th down like Dan Campbell does every time. And how convenient, and how efficient are you when you're going for it on 4th down? Not very. Dummies. Maximus. We're not playing either one. We're playing the Commandos. Man, do you watch football? My goodness, bro. Do you watch football, Maximus? You got to be able to look up the actual matchups. Come on, Maximus. My goodness. I don't care who we play. The thing is that we may not even be good enough to beat the Commandos at home. We don't have a defense. Our run defense is top 5. Our secondary is injured. So if someone can pass like Jaden Daniels, we easily could lose. And if somehow we were able to win, and then we would play, Minnesota or Detroit, the loser of this game, and if they were able to beat the Rams, and we would have to play that team next, I highly doubt we would be able to beat either one. But if Minnesota plays dumb like this, almost anybody in the NFC could beat them. So, I get it. You're 14-2, but again, the coaching and the decision-making by O'Connell today is not good. Like, there's going to be voters that are going to take away their coach of the year for him based off this game alone. Terrible coaching today. Fucking Maximus. Come on. Oh, boy, just fucking got born yesterday and asking me who I want between fucking Lions or Vikings. We can't probably beat either one. And, of course, if I had to choose one or the other, I would choose Minnesota. Their defense is obviously good, but I'd rather go against them than go against Detroit. But either one, we probably wouldn't be able to beat. But one thing for Tampa, we are the only team in the NFL to beat the Lions and the Eagles this year. So remember that. We might not have a pass defense, but if Baker is baking, we'll have a chance against anybody. He's top 5 this year. Play action fake. Goff. Going long, going deep. Intercepted. What a dumb throw by Jared Goff. What am I watching here? What is this? This is not Detroit football, and this is not Minnesota football. I get it. There's like a lot in the line, but so uncharacteristic, for both of these teams playing like the other team. Detroit is playing like Minnesota. Minnesota is playing like Detroit, and they're fucking up left and right. I don't understand what I'm watching here. They realize that this is for the 1 seed in the bye, right? They realize this is to get to 15-2, right? And the loser goes to 14-3 as the 5 seed on the road to the Rams. Why are they not playing like it? It's like I'm watching a goddamn preseason game. Jesus. Maximus. Jesus. 10-6 Lions. Handoff. Good vision there by Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones. 7-yard gain. Second down and 3 at the Detroit 47. And another fucking injury. Uh-oh. Who's that? That better not be Branch. Or is it Arnold? Oh, shit. It's Arnold. That's not good either. You don't want Arnold, Branch, or Kirby Joseph to get injured. Jesus Christ. Nice interception by Harrison Smith, but hell, anyone could have caught that. But I don't think I've ever seen such an uncharacteristic game between two powerhouses. But I'm going to say this right now, and I've already felt this way for about a month. Philadelphia is better than both of these teams. Philadelphia is the most well-rounded team. Philadelphia is the best team in the NFC, even though their record may not say it. These two teams got a better record, but I trust Philadelphia a hell of a lot more than these two teams. I like these two teams. I like watching these two teams. I like rooting for these two teams, but I see too many weaknesses out of these two teams. I don't know, man. If Philadelphia matches up against either one of these, it might be game over for one of these teams or both. Golly. It's like I don't trust Sam Darnold in the offense. I don't trust Detroit's defense, but I do trust Jalen when he's healthy, and I trust that defense on Philly. I trust them. I don't trust these two teams. I trust the Chiefs. They might not be sexy, but they're efficient, and they got great coaching. They get the most out of their role players out of any team. It might not be a dominant win, but it usually ends up being a win. And I like Buffalo's offense, but their defense kind of scares me. Same thing with the Ravens. I love Lamar. I love Josh Allen, but their defenses aren't good, and again, they can play in spurts, but, even though the Chiefs aren't like sexy, overall, they're more trustworthy than the Bills or the Ravens. You know, and normally when the playoffs come around, you know, normally Lamar chokes, you know. I don't think Josh Allen really chokes. He just never had a running back good enough to help him. And now they have James Cook. So maybe this is the year. But again, defense, where is it? And normally if you end up winning a Super Bowl, you got to have some kind of defense. That's what makes me nervous about some of these teams that have a defense that's injured or that doesn't have a defense. That's only going to get you so far. Yeah, we've never seen a team with 14 wins be a wild card, you know, team ever in NFL history. STL, you got the snow out there. Obviously working for Amazon, they probably give no fucks. They probably be like, come to work, walk to work. We give no fucks. Bezos needs that money. Oh, shit. Here's Arnold with an injury. Uh-oh. And again, I think the Vikings and Lions are really fun to watch, but I don't know, man. I don't think that these teams could beat Philly. I mean, it just depends on what, you know, Jalen Hurts we get. If we get the Jalen that we all know, you know, with all their players on defense, I mean, you're going to have to play some miraculous ball to beat them. You know, and I know a lot of people don't want to see the rematch of the Chiefs and the Eagles, but don't be surprised if that's what we get. You know, again, they have the most consistent offense and defense and coaching out of the teams that are left. You know, it's all about discipline. And I'm not seeing a whole lot of discipline here today. And then the injuries keep piling up for Detroit. Not good. Jason in the building. What's good? Not fucking Vrabel, but that's who you guys are going to hire. And then you'll just fire him after a year or two. He ain't the one. But that's where they're going to go. Darnold can't fucking run away from anybody. Sam Darnold running the 40 in fucking 3 minutes. Jesus Christ. Can't run away from anyone. Almost got an interception there. And you guys kept winning games late. What the fuck were you guys thinking? You should have tried to fucking tank so that way you guys could have got the first pick in the draft and then picked the Heisman winner. That would have brought some butts in the seats for New England fans. A little Travis Hunter action. But Travis Hunter on the fucking Titans doesn't sound sexy. And a lot of the teams that are in the top 10, God, they're bad. There's a lot of fucking room to, you know, not a lot of wiggle room, but there's a lot of room to fill those holes. Yeah, you want the Lions over the Eagles because you know the Eagles could beat you this year. That's the team that could beat you. If the Lions go, you know, again, defense being banged up, you could beat them. You know, if Minnesota goes, you easily could beat them if somehow they overachieve. But based off the decision-making of O'Connell, I mean, if you want to be the best, you don't want to hide from the best. Right? If the Chiefs are going to three-peat, it's not going to be fucking easy. Don't you want to play the best? You don't want to have an easy route, you know? You want to be able to play the best so that way that you can, hang the title over Philly's head. You know, if they end up getting there and you beat them, that's what you want. You know, you don't want to play the, team that's third best in the NFC. Yeah, you guys will have an easy chance to win. But again, it's all about legacy. You don't want an easy way. You want to be able to go the hard way. You guys have already proven that you can win in multiple ways with Tyreek, without Tyreek, with Bieniemy, without Bieniemy, without a defense, with a defense. Like, why would you be scared of Philly now? Go out there and show that you guys are the best team and try to three-peat. Plus, that's going to be the most well-rounded team like yourself. No excuses. Pass and complete. Yeah, well, your mom is smart. Because especially in the Midwest, there's no point. It's okay. Bezos and that money. Kick is up. And is good. It's a field goal party. When's the last time you've seen the Minnesota offense get held like this with a team that doesn't have a defense? That's alarming. 10-9 Lions. All right, Gibbs. It's time. And also, the Lions aren't the same team without David Montgomery. It's like they keep getting more and more injuries. And then if you end up, kind of slowing down Gibbs, normally then you could go to Montgomery and that gives you another, two-headed horse. But that's another reason why I don't think, the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl. And they may end up representing the NFC. It's possible. Obviously Philly is really the top team and then Detroit and then Minnesota. But, we'll see where it goes. But just because you represent the NFC, that doesn't mean you're going to win it all. And I don't trust Lamar in the playoffs, but we'll see. Maybe this is the year that, he goes a little bit further. I mean, they did make it to the AFC Championship game last year, but, Kansas City is Kansas City for a reason. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, and for Chiefs haters, they don't want to see them there. But again, if you're number one in third down efficiency in the league, right, and then you're number one in a couple defensive categories, yeah, people don't want to necessarily see them if you're not a Chiefs fan. But the harsh reality is they have 5 things that no one else has: Mahomes, Kelsey, right? Who else? Andy Reid, Bieniemy, Chris Jones. And if you have those 5, it's going to be very hard to beat, especially if they have home field advantage and you have to go through Arrowhead. I feel like the only team that could beat the Chiefs is the Bills with Josh Allen and James Cook. But, will they do it this year? I don't know, but I don't think any other team has a shot to do it. So we'll see what we get. If it's going to be Philly or Detroit, Kansas City or Buffalo. And then obviously you got the, outsiders, Minnesota and the Baltimore Ravens. But again, I feel like, you can get something out of Minnesota and the Baltimore Ravens, but can you end up beating the teams that are above you? That's the big question. Goff, little play action fake. There we go, little screen pass. There we go, Jameer. Use that speed towards the sideline. 9-yard gain. Did they give him the first down there? Did they give him the first? 9 to 10-yard gain. It's close. 17 inches of snow on I-70. Holy fuck. Second down and 1. Gibbs run for 2 yards. First down, Lions. Move the chains. Stay safe out there, y'all. Kwesi Adolfo Mensah. Goff under center. Sam Laporta. Short gain. I don't think anyone on planet Earth could have predicted a 10-9 game. But again, just the simple fact that Minnesota has left 6 points on the board and not gone for the field goals, I highly doubt they're going to win this game. Like, I mean, obviously they're only down by 1 right now, and it's, field goal, and then you had another injury there to the Lions with Arnold. But, usually the sports gods are going to punish the team that leaves points on the board. So we'll see how it goes. But again, Detroit is at the point where they need a touchdown. They got to stop fucking around with these punts and these field goals. Like, it's about time for Laporta, Amon-Ra, or Gibbs to get in the fucking end zone. See if they can actually put a good, set of plays together by Johnson. Because obviously O'Connell's play calling has been fucking horrendous today. There we go, Gibbs. First down, Lions. Ooh, 88 in Australia, huh? Paisley in here, curled up, looking at dad. Paisley watches football with dad. She likes cartoons a lot, though. Play action fake. Little screen pass. Here we go. Oh, good defense there. Byron Murphy, baby. Murphy was 6 picks this year. Stud. Great form tackle there. Huskies, baby. It shows you, like, Ducks and Huskies in the last few years, man, we've been pumping out some really good players. It's awesome to see representing the Pacific Northwest, It's like, California will get all the pub, but again, there's a lot of people that grow up in Oregon and Washington. They may not go to the Oregon Ducks or the Washington Huskies. They may end up going to other schools. Like Emeka Egbuka could have went to the Huskies, but he went to fucking Ohio State. I get it. If you're going to go to the, one of the best in the world, but again, a lot of athletes, grow up and play their Pop Warner and their high school ball in Oregon and Washington. And then, they have to make that decision if they go to the hometown school or if they go out of state. But we got a lot of talent. And also we get some outsiders, that grow up other places and then they just end up in the Huskies or the Ducks as well, of course. Goff. Feels like that momentum is starting to shift now. And then the crowd needs to get into it. If you really want this number 1 seed, right, you got to act like it. And the crowd has been pretty quiet. The crowd needs to start, like actually playing like this is not like a preseason game. Like this is to get to 15-2. They're both 14-2 right now. Do you want to be on the road or do you want to have that bye? Like, let's start playing like it. And Goff is more trustworthy than Sam Darnold. So, and the Lions have a better offensive line. They need to start playing like it. Shotgun set. Goff. Good protection up front. First down, Lions. I can always sense the momentum before it happens. Okay, we've been going back and forth. The Vikings have been stupid with their play calling. They have been going for it on 4th down. They've left 2 field goals that they could have had to make this game, 15-10 and being in a good position to win. But they've been stupid today, and the Lions are going to make them pay, and the Lions are going to win this game. Unless some freakish thing happens, injury or a pick 6 or a special teams touchdown, which could happen. We know Van Ginkel is amazing, right? But just the way that the game is going at this point, I would be very surprised if Minnesota wins. The sports gods are going to punish them for leaving those 2 field goals on the board. But I love me some Van Ginkel, though. Yeah, but you're going to be playing the Steelers, and again, you're going to beat the brakes off of them. The real question is like, can you end up beating the Bills or the Chiefs? That's the real question. Anybody can be great in the regular season, and Lamar definitely deserves the MVP like Josh Allen. His numbers are better besides rushing touchdowns, right? But we know Lamar chokes in the playoffs. You know it too. You're a fan, right? But can you get past the cream of the crop? Can you get past the Bills? Can you get past the Chiefs? Can you represent the AFC? Maybe this is the year. But again, the defense isn't the same without McDonald there. And it's like the Bills. You guys got an offense, but you don't have a defense. And neither does Buffalo. And then when you play a team like Kansas City at Arrowhead, that's a problem. But I'll be rooting for, Buffalo and the Baltimore Ravens to eventually, get to the Super Bowl, and hopefully they can both win a Super Bowl, right? I'd love to see Lamar win a Super Bowl as well as Josh Allen, but if you don't have a defense, that's going to be hard to do. And then for some weird reason, if you end up getting past the Chiefs and you represent the AFC, right, what happens if you lose to Philly? Could happen. I mean, you guys are 100% going to beat the Steelers in the first round, but after that, we'll see. I think that's a fair statement to say, You can outscore teams in the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, things get much tighter. Short game. Shout out to Detroit's defense for having all of those injuries and playing today like they have no injuries on defense. They're playing with a lot of heart here at home to give up only fucking 9. Incredible. Man in motion. Fake toss. Good idea there, but again, Sewell couldn't hit the block for them to have a big play there. Third down. Shows you how fast Minnesota is on defense. Now, if Minnesota's offense could match the defense, we'd be fucking talking. Just couldn't get there in time. As great as Penei Sewell is, I mean, he is a lineman. 3rd down and 4. In field goal range, but they need a tutty. Gibbs for 2 yards. I wouldn't have went to Gibbs there. I definitely would have went to like Laporta or Amon Ra, but and I don't understand why no one is doing crossing routes or slants in this game. That's the open part of the field. I mean, unless you're blind. 4th down and 2. He said, Y.A. Tittle. You going back. Touchdown. Boom. Jahmyr Gibbs. There you go. My ESP is correct. You can always feel like when the momentum is going to shift. And again, Minnesota leaving those 2 field goals on the board is going to cost them the 1 seed. Good execution here. They pick up the blitz. Goff. Nice job. And that's going to help them win that game. Nice job by the Lions there. Oh, boy's going Y.A. Tittle, Frank Gifford on me. Extra point is up and good. 17-9 Lions. I mean, Giants have had their moments, going with the Phil Simms era and the Jeff Hostetler, going back in the day with Lawrence Taylor and then the Eli Manning era. Not every era is going to be beautiful, for the Giants and whatnot. But again, when they end up, getting the right pieces together, whether it's Michael Strahan or Eli or Lawrence Taylor or Phil Simms or Y.A. Tittle or Frank Gifford, any number of those guys, Mark Bavaro, I can name drop for days, baby. It'll take them a while. Right there, middle of the field, like I've been saying all day. Why haven't they been going there? And then they finally do. Oh, touchdown. There you go. Should have been doing that the fucking whole game. 17-9 Lions. And the Lions aren't done. There's a good probability that they'll be able to get at least another touchdown and maybe another field goal or 2 or possibly multiple touchdowns. I just don't see, it's going to take a miracle for the Vikings to come back in this one, even though Arnold went down with that injury. I mean, the Vikings are good when they have rhythm. right? And they're being able to go to Addison on one play and then Jetta on another and then Munt on another and then fucking Naylor on another. But again, the lack of the running back room, even though we've seen some big plays out of Aaron Jones and Akers, the running back room are RB2s and RB3s. Offensive line could be a little bit better, but the play calling and the decision-making by O'Connell has been terrible today. If he just would have been not trying to be Dan Campbell, be yourself. Don't try to be someone else and play someone else's kind of game. Anytime you go outside of what you are, you lose, usually 100% of the time. But again, we still have plenty of time for them to make it interesting, but I don't see Minnesota winning. I think Detroit will be the 1 seed with Chiefs, and Minnesota will be a 5 seed and have to play the Rams. And again, if the Rams get going early, Minnesota could lose. Like the Rams could, if Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams and Stafford, and then Verse on defense plays well, the Rams could upset the Vikings. I'm not saying that they will, but they could at home. If the game was in Minnesota, probably not. But, being in LA at SoFi, it's possible. Just like it's possible for the Commanders to come into Tampa and win, or just like the Chargers coming into Houston and beating them, or vice versa. CJ Stroud hasn't looked very good this year, but again, they might be able to do enough to beat Herbert, but we'll have to wait and see. But decision-making alone, terrible. And I'm used to O'Connell making great moves. A lot of people have him as coach of the year, but they're about to take that fucking vote back based on what I've seen here today. I mean, with the game on the line, number 1 seed on the line, and you play this kind of strategy, that is very alarming to me. Take Minnesota out of the top 3. Philadelphia, Detroit, no longer Minnesota. Decision-making, that ruined it for me. I know you might be 14-3 after this, but I don't trust you. Like, literally the only way I could see Minnesota coming back in this is if they get a pick 6 or a fumble for a touchdown. And I don't know what the probability of that is. Maybe like 20%, because Van Ginkel can do it, and they have players that can do it, but I'm not sure if Goff is going to put them in a position to do it. And again, if Darnold had any kind of Baker Mayfield in him, they could definitely be ahead in this game. But again, he's so not mobile. He can literally only move a couple steps here to the left, to the right. And we've seen him try to run away for 1 first down in the first half. Like, sometimes you need to take over a game with your fucking legs. When things aren't working with your running backs and the wide receivers are getting blanketed and fucking locked down, by, Joseph and Branch, sometimes you need to take the game in your own hands like Baker did, and you got to run for a few first downs. Here we go, Sam running to the right. There he is, finally. And then you go out of bounds. What are you doing? Flag on the play, probably coming back due to a hold. Or is that defensive holding? Ooh, they got lucky there. Defensive holding instead of O-line holding there based on that flag placement. But it's like, I don't know why Darnold doesn't do that more. Like, are you afraid to run? You don't have to look like the fastest guy out there, but you're hurting your team by not running outside. Defensive holding is decline. And then the receiver catches it wide open and then goes out of bounds after like 2 steps. What the fuck are you doing? Darnold. Short gain by Aaron Jones. Darnold short right to Oliver there for 3 yards. 3rd down and 4. Wow. Didn't wrap up with his arms, but lucky enough that impact knocked him down. 3rd down and 4. That's all good. We got plenty of wrestling fans that will be here, and again, if you're not into wrestling, that's fine. But, you can always stop by if you feel like it. I mean, just because we do a stream of something that it may not be a personal favorite for you, we always talk about many, many things on a stream other than, whatever the event is. So if you can make it, you can make it. If you can't, no worries. I mean, I'm going to be grinding away pretty much every day on something. Darnold pass incomplete to Hawkinson. 4th down and 4, no flags on the play, even though Hawkinson waved his arms as if he deserved one. No, that's more important. Yeah, you got to do the birthday shopping. That's more important than Monday Night Raw, especially if you're not a wrestling fan. But it's going to be, for all the rest of us, it's going to be must-see TV. It's going to be one of the highest, viewed Netflix programs this year, 100%. And we're definitely going to see some special appearances. They're going to put on a show and no time limits. And it's going to be a pretty cool thing to have since we're not going to have Monday Night Football anymore. And it'll give us an opportunity to do that on Mondays. So. Reichard field goal, no good. Vikings lost. Again, 2 opportunities where you don't go for a field goal and then you do go for a field goal and you shank it wide right. 0% chance for the Vikings to win the game now. Bad play calling by O'Connell. And there it is. Again, you're 14-2 and your defense got you to that record, right? The Lions have a bunch of injuries on the defense. But again, if you can't call, a game like this, like a playoff game, you do not deserve to win the game. And you lost right there. Sports gods are punishing you for not going for those field goals that were chip shots early on. 100% chance that the Lions win. There is no possibility of the Vikings winning this game now. 0. Because Detroit's not going to stop scoring. And when a team as good as Detroit is ahead, what are they going to do, right? They're going to do safe throws, and they're going to run the football to bleed the clock. Vikings are done. And hopefully they have a better game plan against the Rams and Sean McVay going against his predecessor, McVay and obviously O'Connell. But again, if O'Connell coaches this type of way against the Rams, they're going to lose on the road. And normally O'Connell is I'm praising him, but this is the worst coaching I've ever seen out of O'Connell. Unbelievable, unexcusable. 17-9, Lions, end of the third quarter. And that's what separates, some of the teams. It's like Eagles are at the top, then the Lions, or Lions at the top, then the Eagles, and then obviously Minnesota could be the third. But again, I don't even think I can include them anymore. I think I only can include the Lions and the Eagles. I can't include Minnesota anymore. They fell off. I can't include you anymore. And then you got the Chiefs, and then you got the Bills. And I'll give the Ravens the respect, on that end. They're more trustworthy than Minnesota. But again, they don't have a defense. And if you don't got a defense, that makes me nervous. Just like Buffalo doesn't have a defense, that makes me nervous as hell. Next Sunday, Commandos and Bucks. Let's go. Can't wait.
little children without lifting a finger. Upgrade your plate and optimize your nutrition. Eat smart with Baxter.
All right, so Saturday, it's going to be the Chargers and the Texans at 1:30. Then the Steelers and the Ravens on Amazon Prime at 5. Then Sunday, it'll be 10 a.m. Broncos Bills, 1:30 Packers Eagles, and then the late game Commandos Bucks. Obviously, we're going to be doing that. And then on Monday, it'll be the Vikings versus the Rams. And I'm going to try to do as many games as possible, but I have to make sure I'm being a good father to my dog daughter. So again, I'm going to try to do as many as I can. And there may be a day where we do 2, in a day, maybe 2 on one day, 2 on another. But I got to see, how I feel. And, also I got to make sure I look out after her. We're definitely going to be doing at least 1 game each day. But it's like, fuck. It's like the Chargers Texan game is going to be better than the Steeler Raven game. But I guess watching Lamar do his thing will be more exciting. The better game will be Chargers Texans, but we'll probably stream the Raven game. Uh-oh. Van Ginkel. That could have been that pick I was talking about that they needed. And then we'll be doing the Bucks and Commandos on Sunday. I'm not sure if we'll do Broncos, Bills, or Packers, Eagles. Packers, Eagles would be intriguing, maybe. And then obviously on Monday, it'll be just 1 game. So I'm not sure if we'll do 2 games on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. And then 1 on Monday, but we'll see. Van Ginkel. What happened to my hands? Goff. Short middle to Amon-Ra St. Brown. 3rd down and 1. Handed off to Reynolds or Gibbs to get the first. And again, when you're ahead, right, you just keep pounding the rock. Safe passes, right? Short middle to J-Mo. 1st down, Lions. And like I said, the Vikings, deciding not to go for those field goals. 2 of them, right? And then also the missed one. If they would have done that, they would have a 1-point lead right now and would actually have a chance to win. But again, worst coaching performance I've seen out of Kevin O'Connell ever. First down, J-Mo. And again, once the Lions end up putting up another touchdown, it's a wrap. It's right now it's still close because it is within only 8 if they got a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. But all of the momentum, Uncle Mo is in Detroit. He's unpacked. He's ate dinner. He's had a 6-pack. He ain't going anywhere. This one is done. Man in motion. Hand off. Good block up front. Wow. Man, my Esp is strong. It's over, baby. I can tell momentum, and, the sports gods know. They know. They communicate with me. They know. It's over, baby. It's over, baby. Most electric player in the NFL, Jahmyr Gibbs. Number 2, Jameson Williams. It's very rare to have the 2 most electric players that could do anything on any given moment on the same team. No David Montgomery, no problem. He just gives you an opportunity to show Gibbs that can shine like a Bucky Irving as an undersized back. Extra point is up by Bates, and it's good. 24-9 Lions. The only team that can beat Philadelphia. Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Lions, Eagles. That's it. Minnesota was in the conversation going into this game, but not anymore. Bad coaching and play calling. Goodbye. Bye-bye, Minnesota. That's sad, too. They had a great year. Good teams find a way to win. Bad teams find a way to lose. I don't think we can really say that Minnesota's a bad team, but it's a bad fucking coaching performance today. And if they play like this, they're not going to beat the Rams. The Rams could upset them, and they might end up, playing better, on the road against them. But again, we've seen the Rams being a Jekyll and Hyde also, where they look amazing and they look terrible. But what a disappointment. for Minnesota. And then for Detroit, they're the Detroit Lions this year. They made it almost to the Super Bowl last year. It feels like they're destined, for the NFC Championship game. But, can you get past Philadelphia? That's the question. He's good. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Hit your boy with the dono on the dono train. Chief, you got anything in mind, Chief-wise, that you want to see? Photo-wise, let me know.
Old Trapper beef jerky is $11.99. Winter stock reduction pricing means up to 50% off all clearance athletic shoes and select clearance Dickies and Keyword shirts.
And I feel like if Buffalo had home field advantage or Baltimore, that would give them the opportunity to beat the Chiefs. But again, if they continue to keep having home field advantage, we've seen, Buffalo get close. We've seen a Lamar get close, but close doesn't get you to the Super Bowl. It just ends up being a failure, where they just have too much at home there at Arrowhead. It's like they're going to have to, end up having home field advantage. Like the Ravens and the Bills have to be a 1 seed for them to be able to beat the Chiefs. And, they still haven't been able to do it yet. That's why it's very plausible that we get a Chiefs-Eagles rematch. But the Lions are going to do everything they can to get there. Yeah, Texas hasn't looked that great. Obviously, Ohio State, after what they did to Oregon, they look like they could go all the way, right? And Penn State and Notre Dame are very evenly matched. That could go either way. I don't think that you could really say definitively who's going to win, But again, Texas is good enough to beat Ohio State. It just depends on what Ohio State, shows up. The Michigan game, Ohio State, or the Oregon game, and we'll see where it ends up going. So, but it's probably the most even that you could ask for. Ohio State, Texas, dead even, 50-50, maybe a slight advantage Ohio State based on how Texas played against Arizona State. But, maybe 60-40 Ohio State, maybe, but it's a pretty 50-50 matchup. And I think Penn State, Notre Dame is 50-50. Like really, it could go either way. Marcus Freeman has made Notre Dame a name again, which is great. And obviously with Penn State, Tyler Warren and, everything that they got cooking with Aller and that defense, it's going to be exciting to see who we get in the Natty. Yeah, like I said, Lamar's numbers are better besides rushing touchdowns, and Lamar's already won the MVP a couple times, so I imagine they'll probably give it to Josh Allen, and then Offensive Player of the Year will go to Saquon Barkley. Little toss. Akers with the cutback. Short game. 24-9 Lions. This game was good for a couple quarters, but, it shows you how critical play calling is, and even elite play callers fuck up, Again, if Minnesota stayed true to themselves and played like the Minnesota Vikings, maybe they would have, won or got closer and would have lost by 3. But again, they tried to play like they were the Detroit Lions and it fucking backfired. They went for it on 4th down, missed 2 field goal opportunities. You left 6 points on the board, and then finally you put in Reichert in, and he missed 1. So you missed out on 9 fucking points. Could be 24-18 right now. And again, when you leave points on the board, you lose 100% of the time. And that's going to stay true to today as well. 3rd down and 5. Yeah, and even if they were able to beat the Ravens and the Bills and the Chiefs make the Super Bowl, there's no guarantee that they beat Philly or Detroit. They could, but there's no guarantee. Very hard to win 3-peat, right? Very hard to win even a Super Bowl, let alone 2. Darnold, flag down in the secondary. Penalty on Anzalone. Defensive holding. Yeah, but if the Chiefs do win, again, the best coaching, and then they also get the most out of their role players. Number 1 on 3rd down, and one of the best defenses. You have stats like that, you know, will make you win, even if Mahomes doesn't look like the regular Patrick Mahomes. Like, you know, they can find other ways to win, you know, being a run-heavy team and to take the ball out of his hands more and to let the other guys win the game for you. Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, you know, other guys, the defense, special teams. But again, as long as they have Andy Reid, Spags, Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Chris Jones, it's going to be very hard to beat. They need to break up that 5 to 4 or 3. And once that happens, maybe that's when the Bills or the Ravens advance. But as long as they have those 5, it's going to be very hard to beat them. Chief with the tour. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. Little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Gang, gang. Little screen pass. Good tackle. Darnold pass incomplete to Hawkinson. 3rd down and 8. Yeah. And D-Hop could be the X factor. You know, that could be that piece, you know, that helps them, you know, get to the Super Bowl or possibly win it. Shotgun set. Darnold. Terrible play. Terrible play. No rhythm for the Vikings. You know, very hard for them to get multiple first downs and move the chains. And look at the coverage. You know, Lions defense plays in spurts, you know, but again, man, they really do turn it on when they need to turn it on here at home. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Goodbye, Minnesota. Unexcusable. Nail in the coffin. Muhammad. Yeah. Plus, Xavier Worthy can be an X factor too, because they can run like jet sweeps and reverses, and there's not really anyone that can match that speed. So, you know, even though Mahomes hasn't looked good this year, they've proven they can win when he looks like, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, when he had Tyreek, where he was throwing for, 30, 40, 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards. Then you won without Tyreek. Then you won without Bieniemy. Then the defense got better the last couple of years, and you're winning that way. So, they're proving that they can win in many, many different ways. No other team in the NFL can do that. Again, no other NFL team can win like that, and that's a credit to their coaching staff. They got a good owner. They got a good GM. They don't miss on draft picks. They are very solid. They get the most out of their players. No other team gets the most out of their players that are mid or average. You think fucking Justin Watson and Noah Gray would be fucking notable names anywhere else? Fuck no. That's what they got. 24-9 Lions. It's just like the Patriots all over again. When you get a team that's elite, we can all root for the Chiefs to beat the Pats at that time. But now, Brady, Gronk, Belichick are no longer there. And now you're staring at that New England Patriots. And again, you're good for long enough and you start winning, you eventually become the villain and everyone hates you, and this is what it is now. This is the standard, right? This is the standard in football, whether you like it or not. It is what it is. They got the 5. They got Spags. They got Andy Reid. They got Chris Jones. They got Mahomes, and they got Kelce. Very hard to beat, especially if you have to go to Arrowhead. Almost impossible. I don't make the rules. I just tell you them.
Some people just know that he's taking hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Who's ready for my famous charge nut? Like, check the mascot first before bringing food to a tailgate. So check Allstate first. Don't get it save you hundreds.
A good deal can make you choose. That's why Publix has got the price on all this 20% off any sub, any size.
Wait, Subway did what? 20% off any sub, any size?
Yep, for a limited time.
And the only team that was probably going to be able to beat the Ravens and the Bills and the Chiefs? Right here. And they're not in the playoffs. But they're the hottest team, kind of like a Michigan late in the year. Beating Ohio State, beating Alabama in the bowl game. It's not who you play, it's when you play them. And if Cincinnati was in the playoffs, that would be a true threat to the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Ravens. Facts. And Chiefs, Ravens, and Bills dodged a fucking bullet. Oh, baby! Oh. Jahmyr Gibbs is fucking insane. Fumble, but recovered by the Lions. This motherfucker is out of this world. This motherfucker is out of this world. Fun to watch. They got no answer for that. They got their own little kind of Saquon Barkley. Just like, what do you do when Saquon is rolling and Gibbs is rolling? But again, you know why those guys are so good? Because their fucking offensive lines are some of the best in the NFL. But people don't want to give that credit there. Lions O-line, great. Eagles O-line, great. That's why these fucking running backs look so good. They were going to look good if they had a bad O-line or an average O-line. But, who's got a better O-line than the Lions or the Eagles? I'm waiting. What an electric player, man. So fun to watch.
Side is that Minnesota on the other side is 3-14 now on third.
Gibbs run for 14 yards or 10 yards to the Minnesota 14. First down. Lions. This one is over. Spin over. The way that Minnesota played today, they don't even look like a fucking playoff team. Terrible. And it's not just the speed that makes Gibbs electric and fun. It's his vision and his moves, his agility, and to be able to bounce left and right and not tear his fucking ACL, MCL, or PCL. He's so fucking shifty. He can stop and start and then not lose a whole lot of speed, and a lot of times to go fast, stop, and then redirect. A lot of guys can't do that. He's a very special athlete. We haven't seen a player like this in a minute. Glad I got one of those kind of players too in Bucky Irving. He may not be as good as Gibbs, but he's pretty close. Gibbs is electric, but Bucky Irving got a very good burst in him too. And again, if we didn't get Bucky Irving and Jalen McMillan in this draft, we wouldn't have won the NFC South 100%. Huskies and Ducks making big differences on the Buccaneers this year. Second down on the Minnesota 9. I agree. Lamar makes it look easy. Lamar makes football look easy. I've never seen a player play quarterback, that can throw, can run, and it's like he's jogging out there. He's running fast, but the way that his body moves, his upper body, it doesn't look like he's really trying. He's just got that elusiveness and that speed where Gibbs, when he runs, it looks like he's trying. But Lamar is the fastest player in the NFL that looks like he's just kind of jogging. I've never seen a player look like that before. What happens if Lamar actually tries? What do we get out of him? Does he run for 70-yard touchdowns on the regular? If he actually tries to run as fast as he can, that's a scary thought. Even though it doesn't look like he's trying, we know he is. But it's like, what happens if he actually like looked like he was trying? Like, what would we get out of him? RPOs for 50-yard touchdowns on the regular? 70, 80-yard touchdowns just rushing? I mean, he's a guy that could easily rush for 1,000 to 1,200 yards, even with the Derrick Henry on the team. 4th down and 2. Might as well go to Gibbs. Collinsworth, I'm going to kick a field goal. Why would they kick a field goal when you have the best offensive line and the best offense in football? Fuck it. They're going to live and die this way. They're either going to beat the Eagles this way or lose to the Eagles this way, but that's their identity. Offsides, and they baited them. Wow. That's why you don't kick the field goal, because they're undisciplined. Move the chains. Are they trying to say that it was on the neutral zone infraction? It's very clear to watch that. 1st down, Lions. Now the game is over, but it's been over. Because you can always bait them to see if they go off sides or not, and if they don't and you get a delay of game, you can still kick the field goal. Dummy Collinsworth. Good hard count there by Goff. Collinsworth, activation code. Shut the fuck up. What a dumb motherfucker, dude. You got to appreciate greatness wherever it's at, even if it ends up being a rival team in the division. You know, it's the last thing that the Chargers, Broncos, and Raider fans want to see. The Chiefs keep winning, but that's a fucking reality. Touchdown, Jahmyr Gibbs. My boy. I got that ESP, baby. Look at that. One, 2, 3, 4. Just like the Buccaneers. Back to back to back to back, baby. 4 tutties. This is just pure heart and effort. Should have been down at the 2. He said, fuck that. I'm going to keep pumping my fucking legs. I'm going to do it for the O-line. What a sad performance by this Minnesota D. Yeah, but the difference is Jim is better than John. You know, John is like a consistent coach, but Jim is elite. $31-9 Lions. Vikings can easily come back, right? Plenty of time.
Experience the world as an insider. From exclusive lounges to immersive dining experience, it's all what Chase Sapphire reserved.
1 second, they're a neighbor you like. The next, they're a neighbor.
Look at that. Disrespecting my guy, Antoine Winfield Jr. Jesus Christ.
1 second,
He's good. He's like, oh, you're the best safety in football? Sit down. Why you got to do me like that, Gibbs? But he's that damn good. Red eyes or not. One of the last players in that Saban era.
State.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. Those are the three best backs in the league right now. It's just crazy to think an undersized guy like Gibbs can do that. And then I'm hoping one day, Bucky Irving can join that conversation too and be a top 5 back, even as an undersized back. We got a great offensive line too. And Bucky is the truth. He's way better than Rashad White. He should be the starter. Collinsworth, your tonality is just fucking ridiculous. Like, you listen to Collinsworth talk, and I feel like you get dumber and dumber. Like when you get randos that come in here and start talking on the chat. It's like, I want to be able to educate people and make them smarter, not make them dumber, or just to repeat something that I've already said. I mean, Kyron is great too. But if you had a choice between Kyron and Gibbs, I'm going Gibbs, as far as an undersized guy too. And Josh Jacobs and Bijan are good, but I would take Gibbs over those guys in a fucking heartbeat. Like, those guys line up afterwards. I would go Kyron over Bijan and Josh. If I was going to go based off players, I would probably go Kyron, Josh Jacobs, and then Bijan. And so those guys are right after, the top 3 with Saquon and Henry and Gibbs. They're very, very good too, but I wouldn't choose any of those 3 over the top 3, Saquon, Henry, or Gibbs. But I think I would put Kyron right after that. Kyron would be number 4 for me. Yeah, Mixon's super underrated. I mean, we got a lot of good running backs in the league, but it just depends on top 5 and and then 6 through 10. Darnold, pump fake. He's like, oh, I should run the ball. Where was this in the first half, idiot? He just doesn't have it. He can't run. And the guy that they drafted can't run either. J.J. McCarthy, even slower than him. Yeah, and sometimes it just comes down to personal preference on the style of the back, or depending on the team that they're on. Everyone's going to have favorites based on the stats, but also the style of how they run. Like Henry is the only one that's big, right? That will run over everyone. And then Bijan is kind of a bigger body back. But a lot of these guys now with like Jahmyr Gibbs and like Bucky Irving and Kyron Williams, they're kind of smaller backs that are electric. And then you get the guys that are kind of, a little bit shorter and smaller than a Derrick Henry, but that can still pack a punch, like a Saquon or a Josh Jacobs, Bijan. But also, too, it depends on the offensive line that each team has as well. And there's no coincidence that Saquon and Gibbs are so electric. They got the best 2 offensive lines in football. That helps. First down and 15. Naylor with the catch. Hawkinson, Jetta, and Addison non-factors today. Darnold pass incomplete to Naylor. Penalty there. Defensive holding. Yeah, but the problem is no one can defend Gibbs. Like, really, the only one that might be able to do it is Philadelphia or Kansas City. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. I mean, based on all the teams that are left, like, he's such an electric player and they got the best offensive line. Like, how do you match up against that? Philly's D, and maybe Kansas City's D. That's it. Like, no one else can stop a player like that. And then the thing is, you can't even stop Gibbs. All you're going to be able to do is slow him down. Other teams are going to get 3-4 touchdowns, on them. Maybe Philadelphia and Kansas City can hold Gibbs to 1 or 2 touchdowns, and maybe that'll be the difference in the Super Bowl. If a guy like, Saquon or Gibbs gets 3 or more, maybe that'll be enough to win. So defense wins games, defense wins championships. Remember that. Darnold, play action fake. Hawkinson. 5-yard gain. Good catch there by Hawk. Darnold, limp dog. Just like the offense. You play like this, you're not beating the Rams. No way in hell. But we obviously know the Ram defense plays in spurts as well. They've had a couple good draft picks. They don't got Aaron Donald anymore, but Verse and company have actually overachieved and played a little bit better than expected. Woo! Nice hands. Hands. Team. Yeah, but I like seeing these like smaller backs show that electricity. You know, Gibbs, Bucky Irving, Kyron Williams. It's fun to be able to see backs to do that. You know, we haven't seen like undersized backs be this electric in a long time. Like normally when we see an undersized back, we see like the Buccaneers with like Warwick Dunn, where he's like a good player, but Mike Allstott's better as like the fullback. You know, it's like you get guys that are like good, but they're not like, oh my God, you know, good. And that's what you get out of like, you know, Kyron Williams, Bucky Irving, and Gibbs as far as like undersized backs. I'm really happy that we're living in the day and age where we have undersized backs that can be considered as good as a Saquon or a Derrick Henry. You know, things are starting to change a little bit. Eight more likes to be able to get to 30, baby. 3 more to get to 25. 2 more to get to 25 now. Chief with a $3 holla. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you, my guy. Yeah, but also, too, like the Rams defense, you know, isn't as, you know, the Lions defense has a lot of injured players, but obviously they're playing motivated ball in front of their fans. When you go play in LA for the Rams or the Chargers, the fan base is weak as shit. Like usually you get more fans of the other team. So I don't think you're going to get like a big home field advantage feel in SoFi. Like it's, you know, I don't know what it is about LA. The only teams that they come out where they're like rabid is Dodgers. Like they fucking, you know, the Dodger fans are rowdy, you know, but if it's like the Chargers, the Rams, the Lakers, you know, it's almost like going to a movie. You know, it's not like they really care, you know, like some fans care, but it's almost like going to a concert or an event rather than, ooh, that did hit the ground. Good camera angle there. Reversed. Front angle, he caught it. Back angle, right underneath his butt cheeks there. You could definitely see it hit the ground. But the front angle looked like he scooped it and got it. Good camera work there. Butt cheek cam, got him. Got him. Got him. The butt cam got him. The reverse cam. Up. Go, baby, go, baby. Thick six, thick six, thick six. I don't know if that was a catch or fumble, though. Probably just incomplete. Wow. Catch and a fumble? Wow. When it rains, it pours. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. I think that, I don't know. Let's see if he actually took steps, though. That's a fumble. Look like 2 to 3 steps there. Let's look again. 1, 2. Let's look again. 1. Wow. Well, they're going to bail him out and say it's incomplete. If that was in the previous year's NFL, that would have been a fumble, a punch out. But, you know, tit for tat, you're already losing. So, you don't want Jay Jetta to have to go to therapy after this game. It's already bad that they got their ass kicked like this. And they go back to Darnold. Jetta, short right, and complete. 4th down and 10. Yeah, Bucky ain't on that level yet. You know, even Kyron is better than Bucky at this point, but Bucky's getting, like, you know, you can see it in a couple of years if our offensive line keeps going and, you know, like, and Bucky ends up being the starter. Like, it might be next year where, you know, Bucky ends up being a top 10 back if he's not already a top 10 back right now. You know, but again, he can run, he can catch. He's got good vision, good speed. You know, just that Gibbs is more electric and Kyron is like, you know, got maybe more of a nose for the end zone. You know, but if you look at Bucky's numbers, I mean, they're pretty comparable. You know, they're not that far back, you know, and give him a couple years and, you know, Bucky is special. Who would have thought that Bucky Irving would be better than like LaMichael James and all these other backs that we've had in recent memory, that he might end up being like the best one? But there is no coincidence that a lot of these backs that are great have great offensive lines. It's like, you know, you could be on a shit team like Saquon on the Giants and still make a name for yourself. But if you really want to break records, you got to go to a better team, Philadelphia, better offensive line, Philadelphia, and then you break big records. Too bad he wasn't able to play today to break Dickerson's record. It would have been awesome. Darnold to Naylor, terrible, incomplete. Lions with the ball. Turnover on downs. Dun, dun, dun. Offensive line for the Vikings, terrible. Darnold, terrible. Play calling by Kevin O'Connell, terrible. If they play like this type of shit, you ain't even beating the Rams. Yeah, for me, the only interesting matchups are going to be the Chargers and the Texans and the Bucks and the Commandos. Those could go either way. Everything else, you already know who's going to win. You can debate with yourself and with friends, but it's pretty clear, based on the matchups, who's at home. Road teams don't typically win very often in the playoffs. But those are the matchups that could go either way. Every other matchup, it's pretty one-sided. First down. And the only way that Broncos-Bills would be interesting is if it was in Denver. Then it would be interesting. But, I mean, if you're talking about the Broncos going to Buffalo and losing by fucking 20 or more, I don't know how interesting that is. That's not interesting. That's painful for Bronco fans, good for Bills fans, but... Nice run by Reynolds. 17-yard gain. Pass to J-Mo for 4 yards. First down, Lions. Not this year. Offensive line's shitty. Russ, shitty. It's going to be a blowout. Just like it was yesterday, unless you didn't watch the game yesterday. It's going to get ugly. Even if the game was in Pittsburgh, ugly. The fact that it's going to be in Baltimore, it's going to be a fucking rout. The Steelers are 0-4, bro. You got, you know what I mean? Like some people, like, you watch the Chiefs and everything, but again, I'm watching everyone. I watch every fucking team. Steelers have a 0% chance of doing anything in that game. It is going to be a fucking rout. It's going to be the Lamar show. That fan base is going to go fucking wild. Even the game in Pittsburgh, they were in there yesterday. They looked terrible. I mean, again, they played good in the early part of the season with Fields and the early part, with Russ early on. But I've never seen a team go fucking 0-4 in December or January and do anything. They are not winning. They are probably the worst team in the playoffs. The Pittsburgh Steelers, out of all the teams in the playoffs, even though the Texans are, you know what I mean? Like Pittsburgh is even worse than them. And the Texans are not good. But Pittsburgh is worse. Even if they have TJ Watt and Cameron Hayward and Minka, doesn't matter. They're terrible. Texans Chargers could go either way. The Chargers are the better team, but what Jim Harbaugh, Justin Herbert team is going to show up, I don't know. Commandos and Bucks could go either way. Bucks could win, and I could be happy, or the Commandos and Jaden Daniels could just fucking rip us apart, and we could end up getting blown out by like 17. That could happen too. So you just have to, understand who you're playing, and it's not about who you play, it's when you're playing them. I mean, not everyone's going to agree with me, but again, not very many people are going to read and watch as much film as me. I don't have ESP moments every game multiple times. It's coincidence. There's a reason why. It's a lot of fucking studying. And again, I'm never going to be right 100%. And sometimes the opposite happens in sports. Sometimes the underdog, plays amazing. And, but when you're looking at the playoff structure, I only see a couple 50-50 games. And they may not even be 50-50 when the game plays. I mean, we'll have to wait and see what team shows up. Good Charger team, bad Charger team. Good Texan team, bad Texan team. The good Buccaneer team, the bad Buccaneer team. The good Commando team or the bad Commando team. 2-minute warning. I mean, if you're wanting to win a championship or make the AFC NFC championship game, you have to go 3-1 or 4-0 in December. You can't go 0-4. Pitiful. Motherfuckers were 10-3. They're 10-7 now. Russell Wilson ain't it. Justin Fields ain't it. But you know what's not it? Their fucking offensive line. It's fucking disgusting. Even Big Ben wouldn't be able to help them win. That's how bad it is. You could have Big Ben in his prime, and it still wouldn't be enough. That old line is terrible. Danny Dimes. Terrible.
Some point, he got into the first preseason game. Chris, the lengthy conversation going forward, whenever this Vikings season.
I mean, if CJ Stroud and Mixon and Nico play great, yeah, they can win at home, but they've been so inconsistent this year. And we've seen Herbert do his thing, and, Lad McConkey is a fucking G. Defense has got names, but we'll see. But who's more deserving, of a win? The Chargers over the Texans this year. And then, Bucks and Commandos are both deserving. Jaden Daniels has been fantastic this year, with their new coach. First time that they've been able to win like 11 games or more since 1991. Like Daniel Snyder really fucked that team, and as soon as they get rid of them, right, literally first year, boom, they do exactly what they did in the Mark Rippon era in 91. So, but again, how often do you get the right coach and the right quarterback, to make it work? Like Washington definitely deserved to have the success after being so crappy for so many years. Finally something good came out of it, but it was really Daniel Snyder selling the team and forcing to sell the team with all the sexual misconduct and all the bullshit that was going on. And then once they forced him to sell the team, then the other people made the right decisions on the right coach and the right quarterback. And now you're seeing the Commandos being relevant. Good for them. Teddy B, put him in. Maria in the building. What's good? No relation to Sammy? Reynolds is a pretty decent, like, third string back. Second, third string back. You know, he ain't bad. She said, nah. 31-9 Detroit. Yeah, Sammy went from being black to white like Michael Jackson. You seen photos of Sammy? Man, he went with the skin bleach like a motherfucker. Let's go, Lions. And hopefully we get a Lions-Eagles NFC Championship game. And hopefully we get a Bills-Chiefs AFC Championship game, unless Lamar has something to say about that. But that's what we got right now. Lions, Eagles, Chiefs, Bills, and then we'll throw in the Ravens. That's it. No one else has got a chance, including the Minnesota Vikings. Final score, 31-9 Lions. Maria knows. Oh boy, I need some fucking sun. Stop bleaching your skin. Be proud of your heritage and who you are. I mean, all the celebrities are doing it. Like, even look at like Beyonce and what she used to look like and what she looks like now. I don't know why so many people do the skin bleaching shit. Just like, be proud of who you are, man. Anything that you want to be able to see photo-wise, Chief will Chief, before we end, since you have some of the last donos here on the stream, the last 3, 4. Anything that you want to be able to see where before we go? You want to do some food before we go? How about some food? Should we do that? Yeah, we're doing Monday Night Raw live stream, not only tomorrow, but every Monday moving forward until we get to Monday Night Football next year. So I've been watching wrestling since '85, and you know, just as the season ends, regular Monday Night Raw on Netflix debuts, and I will be live. It starts at 5 Pacific, but I'll probably be live about 10, 15 minutes before that. You know, I'll have to make a thumbnail for it, but I'm excited for tomorrow.
And we're gonna be adventurous, and we're gonna have sewers.
English radio. What will you do when you go? So it's not good.
All right, we're going to do some food photos for Chief will Chief. What kind of food do you want, bro? Where do you want to go? Breakfast food, Mexican food, burgers, pizza, tacos, Italian food, Korean barbecue. Where are we going? Asian food? You have a type of preference?
You just gotta know where to go.
We were there in Paris. Exclusive events and incredible restaurants. Nights at the Sapphire Lounge with the set.
To experience the world as an insider. Exclusive lounges to immersive dining experiences. All the Chase Sapphire Reserve.
A good deal should make you choose. That's why Publix has got the price on all this stuff. 20% off any sub, any size.
I mean, it's all about photos that look like you can taste the food. You know, you can see the HD 4K. You can see the glistening of the chicken. Like, you know, that's the whole point. I'm giving you something that you're not going to get on any other channel. And if you see another channel doing something like this, they copied it from me. 100%. We are a true one of one here. My God. I don't fuck around with the food photos. You feel me? Monday Night Raw live stream tomorrow. We'll probably do college hoops on Tuesday. Maybe I'll do like Duke just to kind of tap into that. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have the day off. Thursday and Friday are going to be the college football playoffs. So we are going to be very busy. We'll only have one day off. We'll have Wednesday off, and we're going to grind it out every other day. Oh, my. Yeah, next week is when all the playoff games are going to be played. So, Chargers and Texans at 1:30. Steelers and Ravens at 5. That's next Saturday. Sunday, Broncos and Bills at 10 a.m. Packers and Eagles at 1:30. Commandos and Bucks at 5. And then Vikings and Rams on Monday night. I'm going to try to do as many of those as I can. Fuck, man, I haven't even ate dinner yet. I still got to go take Paisley on a long, long walk. I'm fucking hungry. Come on, Melissa Stark. You got to be able to have the stats if he asks you. Jahmyr Gibbs, 23 carries, 139 yards, 3 TDs on the ground, 5 receptions, 31 yards, and 1 reception for a tutty through the air. Come on, Melissa. Don't make me do your work for you. You got to give him the stat line with the 4 tutties, not have the microphone in your hand and not fucking know. Boo. These pregame and postgame interviews are terrible. Come on, Melissa.
This is an unbelievable feeling. You know, we got some great fans, man, great coaches, and some unbelievable, team. I got some unbelievable teammates, man. It's just an unreal feeling.
And tell the city, tell the fans what this team is capable of.
A lot. Like the ceiling is high. I can't even tell you what we can, but I know each and every week we're gonna go out there and we're gonna play Lions football. We're gonna play competitive football and fly around. We hear the noise. We hear all of it, but keep on feeling us. We know what our goal is.
We all know what your goal is. Yeah, congratulations, guys. Enjoy.
All right, Melissa, thank you.
Oh, boy, straight from the hood. You can definitely tell the guys that can interview on TV and the guys that are uncomfortable. You get the guys from the hood on the mic. You can tell. Living that hood life. This shit ain't no ego. And, you want to be playing your best ball at the end of the year. And, we have to eliminate the Steelers, as we had them about a month and a half ago as maybe the 3rd best team in the AFC. And we definitely got to get rid of Minnesota as the 3rd best team in the NFC because they're not. They might have a 14-3 record, but I don't think anybody trusts them at this point in the season. I sure as hell don't. Eagles, Lions, Chiefs, Bills, Ravens. Nobody else. If you're a fan of another team, wait till next year. And even the Ravens might not be in the same category as the Bills and the Chiefs, but we'll find out if they are. Waffles so good, make you want to slap your mama. Oh my God. And don't slap your mama. Oh my God.
matchup. I'm really excited for him. I'm really excited about Aaron Glenn. I thought he could coach that. Again, I think he proved tonight that he's head coach for the team.
Oh, baby. Yeah, and especially the Lions don't have anybody on fucking defense except in the secondary, and they held Minnesota to fucking 9. You kidding me? But the problem is you're not going to be able to do that to the fucking Eagles. Eagles are not going to be at fucking 9. So you have to understand that, Minnesota is one thing, but Jalen Hurts is not fucking Sam Darnold, and Aaron Jones is not fucking Saquon Barkley. Facts.
We got Calvin Johnson joining the set. We got Jared Goff coming out to join the set as well. But you go literally anywhere in Detroit, and you hear those chants right there. We heard everywhere on the way in, and Jared's making his way over right now. What do you see from Goff?
I'm giving you guys the fucking business.
Saw him really handle adversity. And a couple things went wrong early on. He didn't let it bother him. I thought they did a beautiful job handling the Minnesota blitz. Every time that blitz came, he got rid of the ball, got into the right place, and just made great decisions.
Yeah, and I look at their offensive line. Their offensive line initially looked tired coming off that West Coast trip. But we saw it go hands on the hip. They just kind of looked tired. And in the second half, they really stepped up the game, did a great job of protecting Jared.
Jahmyr Gibbs, man. I'm looking at his night. 139 rush yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, a receiving touchdown, 170 total yards. This wasn't the most impressive game.
What did I tell you? I told you. I said, David Montgomery. What's up, Calvin? Good to see you. I said, David Montgomery is a really good back, but Jahmyr Gibbs is special. When you look at both those running backs, do you see it that way? That David is a really good running back, but Jahmyr is just really special. Outside of it, we got David from Chicago, but I've seen Jahmyr ever since he came out of high school, went to Georgia Tech, went to Alabama, and to bring that elite level of speed here, it's a pleasure for me to see it every Sunday.
Absolutely. I said on the pregame show, this is the loudest building.
Now I'm giving you the business. There's a reason NWSF is a 1 of 1. I'm not like anybody else, baby.
Hey, this is the first. We haven't been in this position. This is uncharted territory for these fans, for all of us. So, there's something.
It is uncharted territory for the Lions, but again, it's going to be uber painful if you lose to the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. Again, especially being as good as you are this year at 15-2. So they know this. You're very, very good right now, Detroit. But again, you got a team that might be better than you, especially on that defensive side of the ball. Defense wins games. Defense wins championships. And not only can Detroit score, but Philly can match you, and their defense is better. But again, if Aaron Glenn can get the most out of his players and slow Saquon and Hurts down, get some turnovers, it's possible Detroit could be in the Super Bowl. 100%.
Great coaches on his staff. You got guys that want to learn because they got guys that have been there and done that. The guys that ball niggas. Not only that, you got a fan base that is hungry for this. When you combine those two things, you don't have a ceiling right now.
Defense plays like this today. What do you say about the defense today?
Like I say, it's been plug and play. We've had guys go down, but kudos to this coaching staff for having these guys ready to play each and every week. It's phenomenal for me to see this.
Oh God!
My confidence, everybody in the city's confidence. Each and every week we get to see these guys come out. We had a chance to tell the owners why Aaron Glenn should be head coach. Could you please tell them why he should be a head coach? I'm gonna tell you why I don't want him to be a head coach. Right here in Detroit, but no, Aaron Glenn, he's phenomenal. He's a leader, just like Dan, man. He comes with, he has a level of grit. He's played in this league. He knows what it takes. And got to buy into that. I was fortunate to have a coach, Sean Jefferson, that played in this league. So you have those kind of
Megatron, that's my dude. Oh, baby.
We on the sideline every time we come very serious. So what is this that you're saying to you guys as
former Lions and alumni.
I mean, shoot, I was on the team when we went 16. I got a lot of pride, not only obviously in this team, but in the city. You know, we went 16, they were still here. You know, they have never seen.
Oh my God. Sign me up.
Man, we love Michigan. When it comes to football, hands down, this is guy.
Oh, baby. Let's go through the photos one last time. And I got to go take Paisley on a long walk. You know, I'm dedicated my life to her and you guys. And I got to eat some dinner as well. And again, we'll be live for Monday Night Raw on Netflix, the debut tomorrow at 5 o'clock Pacific. You better motherfucking be here if you're a wrestling fan. Now, the only person I don't expect to be here is Megan because she doesn't like wrestling. But for everyone else that's a wrestling fan, it's going to be fun. So hopefully we can get a good turnout tomorrow. And we'll be doing that on Mondays moving forward. And I'm really looking forward to it. Then Tuesday, we might do college basketball. I might take the day off. Wednesday, we'll have off for sure. And then Thursday, Friday will be the college football playoff. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the NFL playoffs. Doesn't get any fucking better than that, baby. Woo!
Yeah, I mean, like I say, he doesn't make mistakes. We had 2 turnovers, but I mean, look at the score at the end of the day. If we can have 2 turnovers and still win a game this big against such a formidable opponent like this, I mean, hey, good luck to everybody else.
You played with Matthew Stafford. How is Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff very similar in terms of their leadership?
I mean, quiet guys, but they have a presence on the field. You know, they're great teammates, and the fact that they hang out with their teammates, they communicate with their teammates. That's the big thing you hope for in a quarterback. Just that he wants to communicate, that he's able to communicate with you, get everybody on the same page, and just a good guy in general. Both of them, great guys.
Calvin, I grew up in this area. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I was 2 years old the last time the Lions won a championship.
Let's go.
Hey, every week, like I say, our confidence grows more and more.
Yeah, you guys go get your snack. Hang out with your boy tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. It'll be a new tradition on the channel. And as well as other, individuals are going to have a lot of fun with it as well. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very much. Hope you enjoyed the food photos as well as the commentary, the photos, and the game. You guys are the best. Final score, Detroit Lions 31, Vikings 9. And again, we'll be live tomorrow, 5 o'clock Pacific, for the very first Monday Night Raw on motherfucking Netflix, baby. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Congratulations to the Detroit Lions, 15-2, and I'm out. Gang.